Sangha with great virtues out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering, attain bliss and birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức hằng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hồi gấm nhớ thiết chúng sinh. Tình kiến diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly gỗ đạc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sananto Suchedoye Olahodi Samyao Samputosye. Nam mô Takkatha Toya Daya Alahade Tamil Tambo Datoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma, 100,000 million aeons, is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and maintain it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom, thus come one's true and actual meaning. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jian an zao yu wo jin jian wen de shou xu. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Shinhua, Venerable Sanghas, and all good no advisors, Amitofo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Chư Phật Sang Rận, Cơ Vị Sinh Chế Rận, Cơ Vị Sang Sư Sư, Amitofo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thượng Tọa Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 31st of May 2015. We are in Rosemead, California to continue discussing the Heart Sutra. You should be on slide 113. Talking about the five skandhas empty. Đang bàn về cái ngũ uẩn dài không. So we just discussed that the first skandha, the form skandha is empty. Mới bàn xong là cái sắc uẩn là không. Now we're discussing the remaining four, the feeling, the thought, the activity, and the consciousness skandha are also like that. Thì cái bốn cái uẩn còn lại, thọ tưởng hành thức, diệt phục như thị, đều giống như vậy cả. Meaning that feelings does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from feeling. Feeling itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is feeling. And similarly, thinking does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from thinking, and so on and so on. So basically, it's empty. Now, it's empty. All the things that we perceive to be real actually empty by nature. Okay? And now, how can you say that feeling does not differ from emptiness? Tại sao nói là thầy nói là cái thọ nó không khác gì cái không? Here's what happened. We are on slide 114. Đây là chuyện xảy ra. Đăng tấm 114. The five sense organs are faced with the five objects. resulting in an experience of pleasure, displeasure, or maybe neutral. Mấy cái giác quan quý vị một khi mà tiếp xúc với cái ngoại trần, okay, thì quý vị có một cái ấn tượng, tạo một cái ấn tượng, hoặc là thích thú, hoặc là chán ghét, hoặc là vô kỵ. Okay. What are the five objects? The objects are the objects corresponding to the particular sense organ. For example, the ears are faced with the sound. Cái vật là gì? Vật là cái trần là những cái đối tượng của cái giác quan của quý vị. Lỗ tai thì nghe âm thanh. Okay. The nose smells, cái mũi thì nó ngửi, and so on and so on. And because of the contact with the external world, we give rise to thinking, to false thinking. Vì cái sự tiếp xúc đó, thành chúng ta tạo cái cảm thọ. Cái cảm thọ nó tạo cái tư tưởng. See, so what happens is that when we get in contact with something, we touch something. Let's say I touch something. It gives you a sensation. Chẳng như thầy đang rờ một cái lá cây này, một cái vật đó, thì cái sự tiếp xúc nó tạo một cái ấn tượng, một cái cảm giác. It creates a feeling, right? The feeling that is could be pleasant, could be unpleasant. Nó cái cảm giác nó có thể thoải mái, không thoải mái, hoặc là khó chịu. And because that feeling immediately, instantaneously, một khi một cái việc có một cái ấn tượng như vậy đó, có một cái cảm giác như vậy, thì ngay lập tức đó, là cái tư tưởng nó khởi ra trên đầu. What happens is that immediately in your head, in your brain, a thought arises. It jumps up. Thì trong óc quý vị tự động nó sinh một cái tư tưởng ngay lập tức. Any questions? This is what happens to each and every one of us. Đây là cái bản tính của cái loài người. Chúng ta như vậy đó. This is how we live. This is how we function. Any questions? Đây là chúng ta hoạt động như vậy đấy. Cơ thể chúng ta hoạt động như vậy đó. Và thắc mắc gì không? Okay. So we constantly, in other words, we constantly give rise to false thoughts. Nói một cách khác, cái đầu chúng ta nó luôn luôn nó tạo những cái vọng tưởng, nó đầy cái vọng tưởng thôi. Any questions? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Just be aware the fact that our five sense organs, cái ngũ giác quan chúng ta đó, nó tiếp xúc với ngoại cảnh. Our sense organs are in contact with the external world, to the five objects. Cái giác quan nó tiếp xúc với cái thế giới bên ngoài. And it creates feelings inside of us through these five sense organs. Vì năm giác quan này, thành cơ thể chúng ta nó luôn luôn nó tạo những cái ấn tượng, tạo những cái cảm giác. Whether it's through the sound you hear, hoặc là vì âm thanh quý vị nghe, whether it's an object of touch, hoặc là cái gì quý vị đụng nó, whether it's a smell, someone sits next to you and have fragrance, hoặc quý vị ngồi láng giềng quý vị có cái mùi nước hoa. Okay, whether it's a sight, hoặc là mình thấy cái gì đó. So far so good. And because we are constantly in contact with the external world, vì chúng ta luôn luôn tiếp xúc với ngoại cảnh. So we are bombarded with these feelings. We have these feelings that are tumultuous inside of us. Và vì cái tiếp xúc đó mình có những cái cảm thọ, những cảm giác mà nó khuấy động cái tâm tư chúng ta. They're agitating us constantly, and that's why we are always generating thought after thought after thought. Vì vậy chúng ta luôn luôn tạo những cái tư tưởng liên tục. Any questions about that? Yes, sir. It is true for all mortals. Cái này là người phàm phu là như vậy. It's called the human condition. Cái đó gọi là cái cảnh giới, cái cảnh giới của loài người. Okay? Whether you like it or not. Okay? You have no control over it. Cái đó quý vị hoàn toàn thiếu tự chủ vì vậy đó. Because the external world is dictating our responses to it. Cái thế giới bên ngoài đó, nó tạo những cái ấn tượng trong người chúng ta và nó điều khiển chúng ta. So for example, vì vậy, the advertising companies, they create certain ads, billboards, or sound, or advertisement on the TV to create feelings inside of you. Thành bởi vậy, chẳng hạn như các nhà mà chuyên môn về quảng cáo đó, ta tạo những cái quảng cáo hoặc là hình ảnh, hoặc là âm thanh, hoặc là trên TV này nọ, hoặc là cái bảng trên ngoài đường quý vị lái xe đó, những cái hình ảnh đó nó tạo một cái ấn tượng trong tâm tư quý vị, có một cảm giác trong quý vị, thành quý vị tự động sinh những cái tư tưởng đó. So for example, the visual, like let's say the sex appeal, create thoughts inside of us. Chẳng hạn như những cái quảng cáo mà nó kêu gợi, okay, thành nó tạo cái tư tưởng trong tâm chúng ta. Okay, so there is some truth in that. For example, parents are supposed to control the children's exposure to TV, for example. Chẳng hạn như bởi vậy cái người lời khuyên người ta nói thông thường, người ta nghĩ là quý vị người bậc cha mẹ huynh trưởng nên kiềm chế cái sự con nít nó coi TV bao lâu. Because the more exposure to TV, the more these thoughts will arise in their heads. They implant thoughts into the children. Okay? Thành con người bị những ảnh hưởng như vậy, nhất là TV nó tạo những cái ấn tượng cho người con nít, cho đứa con nít. So it's a good thing to restrict that exposure. Thành cái chuyện mà chuyện hạn chế cái sự coi TV rất là tốt cho con nít. Yes. Any questions? All right. Now, feelings are different from individual into individual. Each person of us have a different response to the external stimuli. Vì nhớ rằng là cái cảm thọ đó nó khác biệt mỗi người, cùng một cái kích thích đó, mình có cái cảm giác nó khác nhau. Okay? But ultimately, these feelings are only a response to the external stimuli. That's what is meant by empty. Thành ra quý vị nhớ rằng những cái cảm giác này là chỉ một cái phản ứng của chúng ta với cái ngũ trần thôi. Thành ra quý vị phải hiểu đó, cái đó nó không có cái tự tính, nó chỉ tạm bợ thôi. Thành cái ý nghĩa của chữ không là vậy đó. To say that the feelings are empty means that do not be attached to them. Do not be manipulated by them. Nói cách khác, nói là những cái cảm giác là không, có nghĩa là khuyên cái vị là không nên bị những cái cảm giác như vậy nó điều khiển chúng ta, nó chế ngự chúng ta. Any questions? So for example, ví dụ, I may ask you, suppose you feel disgust over looking at a certain person's behavior. Nói cách khác, ví dụ quý vị thấy một cái hành động của người nào đó khiến quý vị cảm thấy chán ghét. Okay. So is it appropriate? Nó có lý là không có lý? Let's say you see someone robbing a bank, chẳng quý vị thấy một người đang cướp nhà băng. Okay? You feel disgust inside of you, right? Trong tâm mình nó khó chịu. Chê bai người đó. You might feel excitement. Mr. Beaumont feels excited about robbing a bank. This is the Texan thing. Am I correct? From his ancestors. It's an American thing. So, ông này nói mỗi lần mình đi cướp nhà băng là ông từ tiểu bang Texas, ông khoái dễ sợ, ông thích thú dễ sợ. Okay. So, my point here is that we somehow place a value on these feelings. And these feelings cause us to become judgmental. Những cái ấn tượng nó khiến chúng ta phán xét người khác. Okay, it triggers our judgmental nature. Khi mà thấy khó chịu đó, thì chúng ta sinh cái tính là cái tính chê bai, ghét bỏ người khác. Okay? Is it okay? That's how society functions, Mr. Beaumont says. Ông nói là cái xã hội mình như vậy. That's why we have judges, bởi vì mình có quan tòa. Bởi vì có pháp luật. Okay? Yes, that's why we have judges, so that's why we have law. The law. Yes? So, that's why we are stuck. Vì vậy chúng ta bị kẹt. We are stuck in this world. Ta bị kẹt trong cái thế gian này. Trong cái thế giới này. This is why we are endlessly revolving in the wheel. Vì vậy mà chúng ta bị kẹt trong vòng luân hồi, đời đời kiếp kiếp, lifetime after lifetime, because we accept, we buy into these arguments. Và chúng ta tin những cái tư tưởng này. Đời đời kiếp kiếp, lifetime after lifetime. And we accept it to be de facto, as the norm. Chúng ta chấp nhận cái này là cái chuyện đương nhiên, bình thường. Do we have translation for our Chinese guests or not? All my Chinese princesses have probably are busy. I think they're a nap or something. When master is lecturing, they can rest. Thầy đang thắc mắc là có ai tới thông dịch tiếng Hoa cho những người Hoa ở đây không? Thì không có ai hết. Thầy mới nói là lúc mà thầy giảng pháp thì mấy cô công chúa người Hoa của thầy đều nghỉ ngơi một tí. My Chinese princesses, they rest a little bit. They don't want to get too tired. Right? All right. So that now someday Master now has to learn how to speak in Chinese. Trong tương lai thầy phải giảng tiếng Hoa. Otherwise I'd be accused of discriminating against the Chinese. Xong thầy sẽ bị nói là coi thường mấy người Hoa. Okay. We are not criticizing the normal. We're not criticizing the ordinary. Cái Phật pháp đó, không có chỉ trích cái bình thường, cái cuộc sống bình thường. Okay? We're simply pointing out these things to you in order to help you understand what's happening to you. You don't have to accept it. We Mahayana people do not accept this. Chúng tôi nói cái này để quý vị biết, để mà tự quyết định lấy. Có nên chấp nhận như vậy là không chấp nhận như vậy. It seems to me, đối với thầy, that all of you are such control freaks. You want to control everything about your life. Đối với thầy đại đa số quý vị toàn là thích điều khiển, thích làm chủ. Am I correct? You want to be in control. Quý vị muốn tự chủ, right? You want to be in control of your life. Quý vị muốn tự chủ cuộc sống quý vị. Yes. You're supposed to take control. You master your own destiny. Nói là con người từ trước giờ cái giáo dục chúng ta, là cha mẹ chúng ta dạy chúng ta là phải làm chủ, phải lo phải có cái tự chủ của cuộc đời của mình. Yes or no? Yes. Rise above their poverty. Yes. Chẳng hạn như người nghèo, sinh trưởng trong gia đình nghèo thì họ muốn đi học hoặc là đi làm lụng để mà thoát khỏi cái sự ràng buộc của cái nghèo. Okay? It's true. No one is promoting, no one is advocating that you should not rise above your conditions, improve upon your conditions. Không ai nói cái gì là mình phải buông xuôi hai tay. Okay? What we're saying is that doing so condemns you to the vicious cycle of reincarnation. Chúng tôi thì nêu ra cho quý vị thấy rằng làm như vậy đó chỉ khiến quý vị vẫn còn kẹt trong cái vòng luân hồi. You forget about something very scary thing, a very very scary thing called reincarnation. Quý vị quên một cái chuyện nó rất là nguy hiểm, gọi là cái vòng luân hồi. It is so dangerous. Nó rất là nguy hiểm. I can't impress upon you how dangerous it is. Thầy không thể nào mà nói quý vị hiểu được rằng cái nó nguy hiểm chừng nào. You have no clue how dangerous it is. Okay? You think you have control over your life. Quý vị nghĩ quý vị có tự chủ được. Okay? But it is an illusion. Cái tự chủ quý vị đó thiệt ra chỉ là một cái ảo tưởng thôi. Okay? You, for example, ví dụ, for example, okay? You know that the house you live in, cái nhà quý vị có đó, the apartment you rent, okay? The room you sleep in, you're sharing it with the ghosts. Quý vị biết là cái phòng quý vị đó đang ngủ đó, cái nhà quý vị đang ở đó là quý vị phải chia với những quỷ. You know that? Huh? Now I tell you that, you know, now some of you say, oh my God, really? There are ghosts in my house? Who believes there are ghosts in your house? Ai có tin là trong nhà quý vị có quỷ không? Huh? Yes, virtually all of you, except for some Chinese people who don't understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Thì ai đa số quý vị đều giơ tay đồng ý là tin là nhà mình có quỷ, trừ vài cái người Hoa mà không hiểu thầy nói gì hết thôi. Okay? And some boys who have no clue what we're talking about. Okay? Yeah. The ghosts are sharing the space with us. Cái việc con quỷ đó nó đang cùng chung cái chỗ nhà mình ở. They on a different wavelengths. You cannot see them. Mình thấy họ được thôi. That's all. Okay? So you think you are in control of your house, but you're not. Thành quý vị nghĩ là quý vị đang tự chủ cái nhà quý vị, thực ra là ma quỷ nó có một cái phần trong đó. You see, you relinquish part of your control your house to the ghost. Cái con quỷ nó quyền điều khiển một phần của nhà quý vị. Okay? The control part of your body, nó điều khiển một phần của cơ thể quý vị. In what way? Wherever you sick, there are ghosts and demons there obstructing blood flow to that particular part of your body. They are in control, you are not. Cha như quý vị bệnh là cái chỗ quý vị đang bệnh đó, là ma quỷ nó đang làm, nó ở đó, nó nghẹt máu, không cho máu tới cái chỗ đó để cơ thể quý vị chết từ từ. That's how they're killing you slowly. You're not in control of your body. Quý vị đâu có điều khiển trong cơ thể quý vị đâu. Do you know, for example, your mind depends on 7 ghosts. Quý vị biết cái óc của quý vị đó đang cần 7 cái con quỷ, the 7 spirits, 7 cái thần for its normal functioning, để mà quý vị óc quý vị làm việc. Did you know that? You didn't know that, huh? Không ai biết chuyện đó hả? You are possessed by spirits. Quý vị đang bị thần nó ở trong đầu quý vị. And you're so full of yourself. So am I. I'm possessed by 7 spirits. Thầy cũng có 7 thần ở trong đầu. This is how we function. Chúng ta như vậy đó. See, there's so much information you don't know about. You have no control. You don't have as much control you think. Quý vị đừng tưởng mình có tự chủ đâu. Mình có rất ít tự chủ. Okay? You may, for example, save a lot of money, but then one day you get older, you get sick. Okay? The money could be gone just like that. Once your health insurance runs out, you reach a limit of your health insurance. Yes, sir.
So how do the spirits operate in the mind?
You have to go to the Shrangama Sutra. It has. It explains that. Trên cái phần 7 cái thần này là được giảng trong cái kinh Thụ Lăng Nghiêm. Okay? But that's just a part. This is just one small part of it. The real problem you have is that one inevitable thing called death. Cái chuyện khác mà quý vị không thể nào tránh được là cái chết. You know nothing about death. Quý vị không biết về cái chết đấy. Am I correct? It's something that no one understands. Không ai biết chuyện gì xảy ra hết đó. Okay? It hangs over our head. Cái tử thần á, nó có thể tới lúc nào cũng được hết. You have zero control over it. Okay? Hoàn toàn không có tự chủ. Okay? So, what we're talking about is that what you consider to be a norm, quý vị mà coi cái chuyện thông thường, bình thường, is actually you are imprisoned within your body. Cái mà quý vị coi thông thường thì ra cái vị đang bị nhốt trong cái thân của mình. This body here keeps you in this world, in reincarnation. Cái thân này nó cột quý vị vào cái vòng luân hồi. Isn't that depressing? No, not to you. It's normal to you. And you forget every time you have a new body. Mỗi lần khi bị có cái thân mới, okay, you forget about it. Quý vị quên. And you go through the same process. Okay, cứ quên, sinh ra là quên, xong rồi luẩn quẩn, xong rồi chết rồi xong sinh ra là quên. So you keep on being born and die, being born and die, lifetime after lifetime. You since the Buddhism have a concept called since beginningless time. Cái Phật giáo mà hay dễ sợ lắm. Cái quan niệm là từ vô thỉ. We have been revolving in the reincarnation wheel since beginningless time. Chúng ta đã từng trong cái vòng luân hồi từ vô thỉ. Okay? There's no beginning. We've always been like this. Mình đã như vậy rồi. Từ vô thủy rồi. Okay? We've been revolving in this. Sometimes we get a human body. Như khi chúng ta lấy được cái thân làm người. Sometimes we get an animal body. Như khi lấy cái thân thú vật. Sometimes we become ghost. Như khi trở thành con quỷ. Sometimes we become a goddess. Như khi chúng ta trở thành một cái vị thiên thần. Okay? And we keep on changing. Sometimes go down to the hells, especially those who've been destroying a lot of Buddha images. Nhiều khi chúng ta lọt xuống địa ngục tại nhất là những cái người mà chuyên môn đi hủy hoại những cái hình tượng của Phật. Okay. Okay. All right. That is why the Buddhists call it dangerous. Bởi vì Phật giáo mới gọi là nguy hiểm. It's dangerous because it's dangerous to your self-control. Nó nguy hiểm tại vì quý vị không có tự chủ. What you think as self-control is actually an illusion. Cái mà quý vị gọi là tự chủ đó thiệt ra một cái vọng, cái ảo tưởng. Tại sao vậy? Because as soon as you die, you lose control of what's gonna happen next to you. Một khi quý vị chết, quý vị mất cái tự chủ, chuyện gì xảy ra cho mình? Yes or no? You cling on dear life to whatever you have, this current life, and you are ill prepared for death. Bởi vì ai cũng vậy, đang ham sống bây giờ, ham đam mê cuộc sống này mà quên nhìn tới cái chết của mình. You don't plan for your future lives. Quý vị không chịu lo cho cái đời tương lai sau. I see most of you are so worried about this current life. You're so overwhelmed by this current life that you don't even dare think about the future lives. Thành thầy thấy đại đa số quý vị là đang bị cái cuộc sống hiện tại bây giờ nó áp đảo mình. Okay. Đến độ mình tối tăm mặt mày, đến độ mình không nhìn được cái chết của mình, không nhìn được cái tương lai của mình. You're so overwhelmed that you don't think about your death. You don't think about the future lives. Quý vị nghĩ tới cái cuộc sống sau. Questions or comments? Yes. A human body. Okay, we have 7. Yeah. 7 spirits. We have 7 spirits that help us function. We depend on them for our functioning. Một con người đó cần 7 cái linh hồn để mà làm việc. Those are beneficial spirits. Đó là những cái linh hồn đó nó tốt cho mình. Okay, very beneficial for us. Yes, any questions? Yes. I'm sorry? Chakras? No, chakra has nothing to do with it. Chakra is nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Chakra is from the Chinese system, chakra is only one of so many. It's nonsense. Don't buy it. It's only real because you buy into the concept. But actually, it's not significant. Cái người hỏi cái chakra là sao thì nói chakra thiệt ra là một cái vọng tưởng, một cái ảo tưởng. Tại vì cái người Ấn Độ ta tin như vậy, thành ra cái vị coi là thật, thiệt ra nó là biết bao nhiêu cái chakra trong người quý vị. Yes? They're separate. They function separately and they cooperate. Why is the woman so interested in her spirits? Tại sao cái cô này cô thích không biết về cái tình hồi. They're good for you. Okay, don't be afraid. Không cần phải sợ. Okay, don't be afraid. They're just normal. It's just they help us function. Yes. Thôi. Bớt suy nghĩ đó. Don't want to think too much, want to know too much. Yes. They go somewhere else, yes. They done. Thì mình chết thì họ mấy cái linh hồn nó đi. So the spirits they leave. Okay? Anyone else? So the danger that Mahayana and the Buddhas talk about, thành cái nguy hiểm mà Đức Phật nói, mà bên Phật giáo mới nói, is in the fact that you are caught in the reincarnation wheel and you have no good means to get out of it. Cái nguy hiểm mà Phật giáo nói đó là quý vị bị kẹt trong cái vòng luân hồi, đời đời kiếp kiếp, lifetime after lifetime, since the beginningless time, từ vô thỉ quý vị đã kẹt rồi. And because you've been stuck in there so long that you don't even think of getting out. Và cái tập khí quý vị tại bị kẹt lâu quá, thành quý vị quen rồi, không nghĩ chuyện thoát ra nữa. That's why it's scary. That's why you are scary. Bởi vì quý vị rất là đáng sợ. Because you will trap me as well. Nên quý vị làm thầy kẹt luôn nữa. You trap your own children. Quý vị làm kẹt con cái quý vị. You trap your own spouses. Quý vị làm kẹt cái vợ chồng quý vị. Okay? You entrap your friends and relatives. Quý vị làm kẹt cho bạn bè thân thuộc của mình. Yes or no? That's why you are scary. You are scary. Because you're so proud, you're so full of yourself. And no one can convince you otherwise. Bởi vì quá tự tin đi, nghĩ là mình đúng. Thành ra mình kẹt, tự làm kẹt mình. Mà làm kẹt chết tất cả mọi người xung quanh quý vị. Okay? And that's only when Buddhism comes along, the Buddha comes along, Đức Phật mới hiện ra. He talks us about these five skandhas are the factors, the five components of your imprisonment. Thành ra Đức Phật hiện ra xuất thế để mà giảng về cái ngũ uẩn, để giảng cho quý vị biết rằng cái ngũ uẩn này là cái tù ngục, cai ngục của quý vị. Questions or comments? Only in Buddhism do we teach you about this. Có Phật giáo mới giảng được cái này thôi. Because until the Buddha came to the worldly knowledge doesn't understand about the five skandhas. Trước khi Phật xuất thế đó, người thế gian pháp không hiểu được cái ngũ uẩn là cái gì. Okay? Because your body is so real to you. Cái thân quý vị đó, nó quá quan trọng đi. Okay? That's why you pamper, you bathe it. Nên quý vị phải nuông chiều nó, tắm rửa nó. You dress it in nice clothes, mặc áo quần cho nó đẹp. Okay? By the way, you could be wearing five precepts sash, even more adorned, as tells you. You see, and by the way, in the future, you know, I saw the Japanese, they have the black robe. The Japanese black robe to me is even more beautiful than the Chinese black robe. Quý vị biết không? Thầy thấy một cái áo mà người tại gia của người Nhật á, nó màu đen, nó đẹp lắm. It's so beautiful. It's so well made. It's so pretty, so much prettier than the Chinese. Serious. It's more like a samurai. You see those Japanese movies, how the dresses, they make the dresses. Okay, it's gorgeous. It is so beautiful. Giống trong phim Nhật vậy đó, mặc cái áo mà đẹp thiệt là đẹp. You see, so we are pampering our body because we are very attached to it. Vì chúng ta rất thích cái thân này, rất chấp trước cái thân này, thành chúng ta nuông chiều nó. And because of that, we keep on getting bodies after bodies after bodies. Cái tập khí mà quý vị nuông chiều cái thân mình. Mình cứ lấy cái đời kiếp có cái thân hoài. Okay, you stuck inside a body. Quý vị kẹt trong một cái bản thân. Yes or no? So for example, you sick, quý vị bệnh một cái, you want to rest. Quý vị bệnh một cái là muốn nghỉ. Okay? Yes? Who doesn't want to feel comfortable? Ai không thích cảm giác thoải mái? See, no one. Everyone likes to feel comfortable. That's what's keeping you in this wheel right there. Cái xích thú đó nó giữ cột chân quý vị trong cái vòng luân hồi này. You know, the lady who went to the Pure Land, những người đi Tây Phương Cực Lạc đó. Okay? Think about it. Cái việc suy nghĩ lại cho coi. The people who went to the Pure Land, những người đi Tây Phương Cực Lạc, you think they're attached to the body? Cái vị nghĩ họ có chấp trước cái thân họ không? Raise your hands. Who thinks they're attached to the body? Ai nghĩ là họ chấp trước cái thân của họ? 2, 3. Do I hear 4? Why, sir, do you think they're attached to the body?
They have bodies that are attached to.
I'm talking about the body you have, that you think you have after you die. Do you know that after you die, you still are very attached to your body? Quý vị biết sau khi quý vị chết á, cái thân quý vị nằm cứng đơ, your body is stiff in the fridge. Okay? And yet you still very attached to it. Mặc dù nó cứng đơ trong cái tủ lạnh đó mà quý vị vẫn chấp trước nó như thường. You can't let go. Yeah. It's very heavy habit energies of attaching your body. Since beginningless time, you always been like this. Yes.
How do you become unattached to your body after you die?
How do you become unattached to your body after you die? Beats me. I never tried it before. You think I know everything? Cái hỏi là làm sao mà mình không bớt chấp trước cái thân mình sau khi mình chết. Nó nói, ủa sao thầy biết được? Thầy chưa chết mình sao biết được? I speak because from experience, I can't imagine things. Đâu thể tưởng tượng được. It's not the same, you know. If I imagine it, I think after I die, this is going to happen. You cannot speak Dharma like that. Quý vị biết nói Pháp á, không thể ngồi mà tưởng tượng nó là tôi nghĩ theo sách vở nói như vậy. Based on what from books and what you know, that's what happens after you die. I cannot speak Dharma like that. Nói Pháp không được như vậy, không thể tưởng tượng được. You cannot deduce, okay? You cannot. Không thể suy luận đó. Yes, sir.
Break the habit while you're alive. Break the chin into the chin. Break the habit while you're alive.
Have you broken the habit, sir?
Theoretically, it can happen.
Ông nói mình bớt chấp trước cái thân lúc mình còn sống. Thầy nói thầy ngược lại. Xin hỏi ông là ông hiểu ông bớt ông chấp trước cái thân ông chưa? Ông nói theo lý thuyết có được. And you are also speaking, you're making conjectures as well. You can't speak Dharma like that. It's not credible, sir.
Isn't that the whole point of Chan is you can stand it?
The whole point of what?
Isn't that the whole point of Chan practice?
The Chan practice?
Yeah. Disengage from the Chan and not identify.
Yes.
Well, then that does it.
But it fails. Most of the people who do Chan fail. They don't detach from their body. Ask him. When he's tired, he goes to his room, he rests. After all these years of practice. Okay? Thầy hỏi không phải thiền là để cái gì bớt cái chấp trước với cái thân. Thầy nói đúng, cái lý thuyết là bớt chấp trước với cái thân khi mà tu thiền, luyện thiền. Nhưng điều sự thật á, mấy ông thầy này chuyên môn luyện thiền mà cuối cùng vẫn là chấp trước cái thân. Tại sao vậy? Mỗi lần mà mệt đi nghỉ ngay lập tức. Who goes to rest when you're tired? Raise your hand, please. See? You're attached to your body. For all these years Chan practice, you're still attached to the body. That's proof that it's very hard to break it while you're alive. Chứng minh cho quý vị thấy đó, quý vị còn lúc quý vị còn sống, sống quý vị khó bỏ chấp trước lắm. It's much easier to let go after you die. Sau khi quý vị chết nó dễ bỏ hơn một tí. Any question? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Yes, sir.
Easier still when you know that you're supposed to. For years and years, you try to.
You are making conjectures. It's no proof. The habit energy is so strong in you that you naturally want to rest. You naturally seek comfort. You naturally are afraid to get tired, afraid to get hurt, afraid of bad feelings. Am I correct? You haven't gotten rid of those attachments yet. And that's a proof right there. You can talk all you want, but deep down, you are very attached to your body.
Okay.
See, that's proof right there. Nên thầy nói cái vị chứng minh cho quý vị thấy là chúng ta rất là chấp trước cái thân chúng ta, tại vì ai cũng muốn thoải mái, ai cũng sợ mệt, ok? Ai cũng lo cái thân mình. As soon as your body hurts, aren't you worried? Right? Mỗi lần cái chân cái thân nó đau một cái, I need to go see a doctor, I need to get acupuncture, I need to have some medicine, take some medicine. Chân nó mệt nghe lo lập tức đi gặp bác sĩ, lo được châm cứu, lo uống thuốc. Right? Who does Chan? Có ai ngồi thiền? Who doesn't take medication and only practice Chan instead? Có ai mà thay vì uống thuốc đi gặp bác sĩ ngồi thiền? Please raise your hand. And who's able to, because of Chan, cure your illness and not having to see a doctor? Có ai vì nhờ ngồi thiền mà không cần gặp bác sĩ? See? Who's attached now? Okay? Questions? Yes. Yes, sometimes. Sometimes. If you have strong affinity with the dead, the living can connect with the dead. Câu hỏi là khi mà quý vị chết rồi, cái người sống có thể liên lạc với quý vị là không? Thì nói có thể được. Okay? Nếu cái duyên quý vị rất thâm sâu có thể được. How does it happen? Ai biết lúc nào? When you sleep. When you sleep. There is a boundary between the material world, the yang yin world we are, and the yin world, where that boundary flexes, it changes with the time. Okay? Có cái ranh giới giữa cái thế giới hữu hình và thế giới vô hình, or the visible world and invisible world. Okay? Right?
the living is visible world, the dead is invisible world. Cái người sống á, là cái thế giới hữu hình, thế giới thấy được, còn cái người chết là thế giới vô hình, cái việc khó thấy lắm. Có cái ranh giới giữa hai cái thế giới như vậy. Okay. Whereas at certain times during the day, trong ngày đó, between 5 and 7, từ 5 đến 7 giờ đó, okay, where it's much easier for them to cross the boundaries. Lúc đó đó, cái người vô hình nó dễ đi qua cái thế giới hữu hình, trong cái ranh giới nó dễ hơn. So far so good. This is how you communicate with them. Now tell Susan, tell her not to get excited. Now she knows. Any other questions? That's why after you the deceased, they can relate back to you in your dreams. Thành ra cái người chết á, khi mà người ta chết rồi á, ta trở về là liên lạc quý vị qua cái giấc mộng của quý vị. That's why I usually get back to you between 5 and 7 in the morning. Thường 5 giờ đến 7 giờ sáng họ trở về, họ liên lạc với quý vị. Nó dễ nhất. That's the most opportune time for them. The easiest for them. Okay? So far so good? All right. So, how do you remove the attachment to the body? Làm sao bớt cái sự chấp trước về cái thân? Does anyone know? Ai biết làm sao bớt chấp trước cái thân không? Yes. Tu hành. What about cultivation? What about cultivation will help you remove the attachment to the body? Cái tu hành ở chỗ nào mà khiến quý vị bớt chấp trước với cái thân? Okay, crossing your legs. How does crossing your legs help you remove the attachment to the body? Làm sao xếp bằng mà khiến quý vị bớt chấp trước cái thân? Anyone? Yes, sir. Okay, very good, excellent. In a Chan school, in the Buddhist meditation methods, is something called impure contemplation. Bên Phật giáo chúng ta có phương pháp thiền gọi là quán bất tịnh. If you keep on using this method, you contemplate the body after it dies, you go through 9 phases of decay. Khi cơ thể quý vị chết rồi, thì cơ thể nó qua 9 cái giai đoạn mà bắt đầu nó bị hủy hoại. Nó mục, nó nát, nó tàn, nó thối. Okay? And you keep on doing that, you will cut off the attachment to the body. Quý vị quán như vậy thì quý vị sẽ bớt cái sự chấp trước về cái thân này. It's very powerful method. Cái phương pháp này rất là hữu hiệu. Okay? In particular, those of you who have high sexual desire, nhất cái người mà có cái dục vọng nó cao đó, this is it's highly recommended for you. Cái quán bất tịnh một phương pháp rất là hữu hiệu để mà trì cái dục tính. Because how can you be attached to such a filthy body? Làm sao mình quán những cái thân nó bẩn thỉu như vậy thì mình bớt tham cái thân. Okay? So the spirit about removing attachment to the body, thành cái tinh thần mà quý vị muốn bớt chấp trước với cái thân is what? To see that the body is suffering. Body is impure. Nó tinh thần quý vị thấy cái thân này nó bất tịnh. It's nothing, no matter what you do to it. Quý vị có sức nước hoa, you put as much as cologne in it, có thể sức hoa bao nhiêu cũng được. You can eat as much you want, ăn bao nhiêu cũng được. You can dress as well you want. It's like, it's still a toilet, no matter what you do to it. Okay? Nó vẫn là cái vòng vệ sinh. Cái vị mà rửa sạch bao nhiêu, trang hoàng nó bao nhiêu, nó cũng là cái vòng vệ sinh như thường. You have to see it for what it really is. Và thấy nó với cái bản chất thực tính của nó. But no, we don't want to look at it. Quý vị nhắm nhìn. Okay? So, Buddhism, the five skandhas that the Buddha speak about, thành cái ngũ uẩn này đó, are the five kinds of attachment that keep us in this world. Thành ra cái ngũ uẩn là năm cái khía cạnh của sự chấp trước mà quý vị nó rất sâu, thâm sâu. These are very profound attachments that keep you in this wheel of reincarnation. Cái năm ngũ uẩn này nó khiến quý vị luôn lưu lạc trong cái vòng luân hồi này. Any questions or comments? As you can see, to see that the body, to remove your attachment to the body is so difficult. Quý vị thấy không? Khi muốn phá bỏ cái chấp trước và cái thân này nó rất là khó. It's not easy at all. Okay? That's why unless you remove the attachment to the five skandhas, you will not be able to attain liberation. Thành trừ phi quý vị mà gạt bỏ những chấp trước về cái ngũ uẩn này thì quý vị mới có thể đắc giải thoát được. Is it clear? Buddhism means the objective in Buddhism, cái mục tiêu của Phật giáo is to help you attain liberation, là để giúp quý vị đắc giải thoát. It's never about helping you make more money as a primary goal. Cái mục tiêu không phải để giúp quý vị làm nhiều tiền hơn. It's not about to help you become disease free. Không phải để quý vị hết bệnh. Because you never be disease free. Quý vị không bao giờ hết bệnh hết. Never. Okay? If you're disease free, then you should live forever. Nếu quý vị hoàn toàn không bệnh thì quý vị sẽ sống trường cửu. Questions? It's never about happiness. Cái mục tiêu Phật giáo không phải để cầu cái hạnh phúc. Why not? Tại sao vậy? Text. Why aren't we promoting happiness? Like, let's say the Catholics, let's say the Jews. Why aren't we advocating happiness? Tại sao chúng ta không như những tôn giáo khác là đề cao cái hạnh phúc?
Promoting happiness is just being happy, doing all kinds of things to be happy. It's disguising the awareness of suffering.
Happiness is suffering. Chúng ta không đề cao hạnh phúc là tại vì hạnh phúc là khổ. Happiness is but suffering. Cái hạnh phúc chỉ là khổ thôi. If you're happy with your children, that's suffering. Cái vì hạnh phúc với con cái mình, cái đó là khổ. If you're happy with your wife, that's suffering. Mà hạnh phúc với vợ là khổ. See, now he ran away. Bỏ nó chạy ngay lập tức. Thì the married man just ran away. You're happy with being single, that is suffering. Cái vì hạnh phúc với độc thân, đó là khổ. Kim Điện ngồi rung đùi nãy giờ. I'm not married. Người rung đùi khoái. Tôi không đâu lấy chồng. Okay? That's why Buddhism is kind of difficult to swallow. Thành cái Phật giáo nó hơi khó dạy một tí. It's contrary to popular belief. Nó đi ngược lại cái sự hiểu biết tri kiến thông thường của loài người. Okay?
People think they can completely avoid suffering.
That's right. People seek happiness and they're afraid of suffering. Tại vì người thông thường người ta tránh cái khổ và cầu cái sướng. Okay? That is why they are called stupid. Bởi vậy mấy người đó gọi là người ngu si. Oops. I shouldn't go that far. I went too far. I apologize. Để xin lỗi cái việc. Yes.
Master, do you think people seek happiness in this world because they believe this is the only world, their only life is the time in their life like that?
Yes. So it's okay to suffer? They mistake happiness. They mistake suffering for happiness. Những cái người mà nghĩ mình sung sướng hạnh phúc là hiểu lầm rằng là cái là hạnh phúc, thiệt ra cái hạnh phúc của họ chỉ là khổ thôi. Something wrong?
And when you're really happy, it doesn't feel the same as when you're really sad. When you know you're really sad.
Okay. Now someone is playing with me. Playing along with me finally. Có người nói, có người than phiền nói, ủa, thầy nói gì kỳ dữ. Lúc mà tôi hạnh phúc, cái cảm giác nó khác hơn là cái cảm giác khi mà tôi khổ. Okay? Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Kim Điền, what do you have to say for yourself? She says, I'm single, therefore I feel so happy. And she says, you married, therefore you unhappy. Okay? Okay? And the feeling is different. So what's the matter? Tại sao vậy? Nó khác nhau chỗ nào? Yes? Yes, Vicky? Don't encourage the Chinese, please. The Chinese always talking to each other. Okay? Okay? So what's the difference? Khác nhau chỗ nào? Please help me out. Come on, this guy is giving me a hard time. What's the difference? He says happiness feels different from suffering. Yes? Khác chỗ nào? Yes. Okay. Your question reminds me of a certain movie. Cái câu hỏi hôm nay làm thầy nhớ một cái phim. The movie, Chinese movie. Phim Tàu. Which one? So many. Nhiều. But I will tell you one that I remember now. And có nhiều phim như vậy lắm. Như thầy kể một chuyện. This happens in a imperial palace. Ở đây trong cái cung nhà vua. They have the best food. Đồ ăn ngon dễ sợ. So the in order to poison a person to death, do you give them poison? No. What do they serve them? The best wine. Yeah. You see? And so when you drink this poison wine, does it feel good? Nếu mà ta muốn giết người ta trong cung vua nhà vua, ta đâu cho cái gì thuốc độc đâu, ta để thuốc độc trong cái rượu mà rượu quý nhất, rượu ngon nhất để cho quý vị uống. Nếu quý vị uống nó có đắng hay không? Is it bitter? It tastes so good, doesn't it? Is it happiness or suffering, sir? Lúc đó quý vị bị đầu độc đó, lúc đó là sướng hay là hạnh phúc? Please tell me.
This doesn't work.
This doesn't work for you.
This is not what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about. So let's say that you're in love with your wife. Sound familiar? Okay. Nói bây giờ ông này không tin, ông không chứng tiền. Tôi nói bây giờ cho ví dụ khác này. Tôi nói bây giờ ông đang thương vợ ông. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels excellent, right? Then I rest my case. There's no suffering. You're right. I'm single. What do I know? Thầy chịu thua. Tại vì mình nhớ lại lúc có vợ cũng sung sướng dễ sợ lắm. Chịu thua. Okay, I give up. You're right. I can't beat you. Maybe you can explain yourself. You must have an idea.
No, that's good. Happiness and suffering. There can be suffering in happiness. There is happiness after suffering.
It isn't suffering to you?
Not in the moment of happiness, it doesn't feel like
But you die soon.
you got children.
Yes, sir.
You got like
No. For example, sexual pleasure is called the French call it la petite mort. Small death. You die. You die sooner. Tôi nói một cách trắng trợn, chẳng hạn như cái chuyện tình dục, cái sự khoái lạc tình dục. Thì người Pháp á, gọi là cái chết, cái tiểu chết. Là tại sao vậy? Tại mỗi lần mỗi chuyện nó nên như vậy là quý vị chết một tí. You die rồi. Your life is shorter. Cuộc sống quý vị nó ngắn lại một tí. Every time. So that suffering it feels good. So suffering has many forms. The range is from very unpleasant to very pleasant. Thầy nói cái khác, thầy xin kết luận cho quý vị biết. Cái khổ đó, nó có cái cảm giác nó từ thoải mái cho tới rất là khó chịu, rất là khổ sở. I rest my case. Okay? What? What's so funny with you Chinese people? Just because it's suffering, okay? The worst form of suffering is in the form of pleasure. Thành nói thật cho quý vị biết á, cái loại khổ mà nó thống khổ nhất á, là trong cái dạng của cái sung sướng. Why is that? Why is that? Does anyone know? Does any one of you know? Những người quý vị biết á, cái tại sao cái khổ mình nó lớn lao nhất là trong cái dạng của cái sướng? Yes. Not quite. Không nghĩ tới cái chết. Anyone? Mình bị kẹt rồi, để nó tiếp tục nó khổ. Excuse me. Hiểu không? Tại vì cái dạng nó sung sướng, tại mình chấp trước nó, thì mình cứ để mình khổ tiếp mà mình không biết nó là cái khổ, nó mình nguy hiểm. Cái loại nó khổ mà khổ nhất á, là sung sướng. Okay? What? Oh, English. It's because it entraps you in that suffering. You seek it. You are so attached to it, you cannot let go. You don't even realize it's suffering.
That's right.
You know that I watched younger people, when I was growing up, younger people who engage in sensual pleasure excessively, they age so fast. Back then, it shocked me already. An 80-year-old girl, French girl in Vietnam, I see her pores, huge pores on her face at the age of 18. I said, wow, that's too much. Nói cái việc để ý, you have to pay attention. The worst kind of sufferings are in the form of pleasure. Thành những cái loại khổ, thống khổ nhất á, là trong cái dạng sướng. It's not in the form of suffering. Okay? Yes.
So where does, when someone is dying and they're really considered horrible state, where does that fit in the realm of suffering?
Người đang chết mà cơ thể nó đau đớn dễ sợ lắm, thì cái đó nó cái dạng khổ nó chỗ nào? It's pretty bad to me. Because when you're in that state, you will fall. Lúc mà quý vị đang bình hoàng mà chết á, thì quý vị nó rất là khổ, là tại quý vị không phải khổ cơ thể bây giờ không, mà vì cái đau đớn cơ thể quý vị đó, quý vị sẽ bị đọa. Because of the pain, the body and the bodily pain, suffering you're enduring, you will most likely fall. Vì cái cơ thể nó đau đớn thì quý vị thường sẽ bị đọa. Yes. Not always. The question, cái câu hỏi là khi mình chết thường mình chết vì bệnh nữa là sao? Phải nói không chắc chắn là phải bị chết vì bệnh. Some people die of natural causes, những người chết vì chết tự nhiên. Some people die because of the hit by a truck. Có những người chết bị xe cán mà chết. Okay. Some people die in their sleep, người chết trong lúc ngủ. Okay. Some chant masters die at will, những cái người thiền ta chết, ta muốn chết là ta chết. Yes. Any questions? Ai thắc mắc gì khác không? So, in essence, Buddhism, don't mistake about the Buddhist teaching. Make no mistakes about the Buddhist teachings. Quý vị đừng có hiểu lầm về cái Phật pháp. Buddhism, ultimate goal, the reason we teach you Buddhism is in order to help you escape, attain liberation, get out of the reincarnation wheel. Cái Phật giáo đó là có xuất thế là để giúp quý vị một cái mục tiêu thôi, là để quý vị thoát cái vòng luân hồi. Okay. And in order to get out of reincarnation wheel, muốn thoát cái vòng luân hồi đó, then you have to beat the five skandhas. Khi muốn thoát vòng luân hồi thì phải vượt qua cái ngũ uẩn này mới thoát được. That's the only way for all of us. Tất cả chúng ta đều bị phải làm như vậy hết. You have no choice. Is it clear? If you want, let me repeat, if you want to attain liberation this lifetime, you have to break free of these five skandhas. Quý vị muốn thoát được đắc giải thoát kiếp này thì quý vị phải phá vỡ cái ngũ uẩn này. Yes? So far so good? Sơ, sâu, xiang, xỉn, shi. Okay? What? Chu Chao. Oh, okay. And if you can't, nếu quý vị mà không thoát, mà không phá được cái ngũ uẩn này, because it's so difficult to break through the five skandhas, vì phá cái ngũ uẩn nó có quá khó đấy. That's why we advise you to go to the Pure Land. Thành như tôi khuyên quý vị đi tới Tây Phương Cực Lạc, mặc dù chưa phá được cái ngũ uẩn, nhưng quý vị vẫn có thể đi được như thường. And you still can go to the Pure Land. Okay? Without breaking through the five skandhas. Okay, that's why it's called horizontal escape. Cái đó gọi là thoát ngang cả. Không phải thoát lên, tắt thăng mà thoát ngang. It's not ascension, but horizontal escape. Chạy ngang ra, chạy ra ngoài. To get out of reincarnation wheel. Chạy ra ngoài cái vòng luân hồi. To escape, liberation has two forms. Cái giải thoát có hai dạng. Dạng thứ nhất là thăng. Okay? One is vertical. You ascend. Get out. Okay? And the other way is horizontal. Cái thứ nhì là chạy ngang ra. Okay? Because when you get out horizontally, you go to the Amitabha Pure Land, guess what happens to you? Khi bị qua Tây Phương Cực Lạc chuyện gì xảy ra? You still have a body, quý vị vẫn còn cái thân. You still have feeling, quý vị vẫn còn cái thọ. You see? Am I correct? Is it clear? You go to the Pure Land, you still have a body. Qua Tây Phương Cực Lạc, quý vị còn cái thân như thường. You still feel very happy there. Quý vị vẫn sướng, rất là hỷ lạc. Okay? You still think about your loved ones. Vẫn nhớ những người thân của mình. That's why you come back and visit them. Vẫn trở về thăm. Right? Right? And you have the activity and you have the consciousness as well. Okay? So that's why it's called horizontal. You cannot break free, but you go there. Okay? But you no longer part of the incarnation wheel. Mà khi vào cái tình độ, quý vị không còn trong cái vòng luân hồi nữa. Okay? And if anything at all, I know I spoke for about an hour and a half now. If anything at all, I want to impress upon you. And cái ngày thầy nói Pháp là 1 tiếng rưỡi rồi, thì khuyên quý vị một chuyện thôi. Get out of the wheel. Go to the Pure Land. Yeah, you should go to the Pure Land. Tất cả các vị nên đi Tây Phương Cực Lạc đây, đừng có dạy ở đây. Questions? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Okay. So until then, don't be attached to your feelings. Tới khi quý vị thoát ra thì tập bằng cách là bớt chấp trước. Because if you go to the Pure Land, quý vị qua Tây Phương Cực Lạc, Amitabha Buddha will teach you how to break through the five skandhas. Qua Tây Phương Cực Lạc, Đức Phật A Di Đà sẽ đích thân dạy quý vị làm cái trao để mà phá cái ngũ uẩn. Okay, so we might as well get started now. Thành ngày còn lại xứ này cũng nên bắt đầu đi. That way, when you go there, you can do a little bit faster. Qua bên kia thì tiếp tục làm. Okay. Questions? 115. It says here the Hinayana people, đây cái tấm này nói là cái nhị thừa đó. They can achieve the emptiness of the self. Okay, họ có thể đạt được cái không của cái ngã. Meaning that they break through the five skandhas. Họ có thể phá được cái ngũ uẩn rồi. A certain level of freedom from the five skandhas. Họ đã thoát được cái vòng của cái luẩn cuộn của cái ngũ uẩn. But they should not, because they should not be attached to that emptiness. Nhưng để họ không nên chấp vào cái không đó. Because it's not true emptiness yet. Tại vì nó chưa phải là chân không. Okay. Because even though they empty the self, feeling can still arise with them. Mặc dầu nhị thừa người ta thấy được cái không của cái ngã, nhưng đều cái thọ nó vẫn chưa đoạn, nó vẫn còn khởi được như thường. Okay, that's very technical for it. But once you get there, you know what I'm talking about. Nó hơi lý thuyết một tí. Để nhắc trước cho quý vị biết, khi quý vị tới đó quý vị sẽ biết cái này là sự thật. The people who are not haven't seen the emptiness yet don't understand what this is about. But so we tell you in advance. Chúng tôi giảng trước cho quý vị biết là cái cảnh giới như vậy đó. Okay, it's not the end of the road. Nó vẫn chưa phải là rốt ráo, chưa phải là tối cao. Okay. Ultimately, this feeling here, this form here, this feeling, these thoughts are basically originated from true emptiness, arose from true emptiness. Và quý vị biết cuối cùng, khi quý vị giác ngộ rồi, when you become enlightened, that's what you realize. Khi quý vị giác ngộ rồi, quý vị mới thấy rằng những cái cảm giác, những cái tư tưởng này nó khởi từ cái chân không của mình. So far, so good. Okay. That goes for the thinking, the formation and consciousness. Và cái lý luận này cũng áp dụng cho cái tưởng, cái hành và cái thức. Questions? Okay. Uh, 116, yes, sir.
Well, that is very confusing. So true emptiness. The feeling of true emptiness.
Yes.
That's the way you see it.
You have to experience emptiness first before you can experience true emptiness. That's why you're not even in emptiness yet. How can we talk about true emptiness? It's pointless. Okay? All this is designed to do is help you plant the seed, not to stop at emptiness. That's all. You don't need to understand. Like that Chinese woman said earlier, she says it's best not to understand too much. Because the more you understand, the more false thinking you have. The more you ask yourself, why not this, why not that? Okay. Thành ra họ hiểu nhiều vô ích, quý vị không nên hiểu nhiều quá. Nói cái này hiện bây giờ thầy nói sơ sơ cho quý vị biết để trồng cái nhân về quý vị sau này quý vị hiểu là không nên nhớ là không nên ngừng lại khi mà tới cái không của cái nhị thừa, thấy được cái ngã không rồi cứ tiếp tục tu và tới cái chân không luôn, đó mới thấy được. Cái đấy thiệt sự là cái sự thật nó như vậy đó, chứ không phải như quý vị lầm tưởng đâu. Ok. 116, 116. So The self is defined as a five skandha. Cái bản ngã cái vị nó có 5 cái uẩn. Okay? And what are they? They are the body, you, the self, the image of the self you have. At the center is the body. Cái ngã cái vị là trong đó nó coi cái thân mình là nó. It sees the body as itself. So far so good? Sound familiar? Okay. So I'm going to go buy nice clothes. I'm going to buy nice shoes. I'm going to go eat nice food to take care of my body. Cái thân này là cái vị muốn mặc áo giày cho đẹp, okay? Mặc áo cho nó sang, ăn đồ ăn cho nó ngon để phục vụ cái thân này, okay? You seek pleasurable feeling. Cái vị thứ nhì của cái bản ngã cái vị là mình tham cầu cái cảm giác sướng. I mean, for normal people, some of us prefer to seek painful feelings. Okay? Một số người để tìm những cảm giác nó đau đớn họ thích hơn. Right, Kim Điển? There you go. Okay? So we're seeking feelings. Okay? And number 3, we think. We like to think. Thứ ba là quý vị thích suy nghĩ. You like to think. You depend on your mind, right?
Yes.
Ask Kim Điển. She says, I think, therefore I am. Right? The wise man proclaim, I think, therefore I am. Những người mà triết học gia ta nói là tôi suy nghĩ vậy tôi là có thật. Okay. Formation, okay. Activity, cái này, it's your undercurrent mental activities, and finally consciousness. Thứ 5 là cái thức, okay. Cái thức này là cái rất là vi tế. The awareness is very, very, very subtle. Questions? Ai thắc mắc gì không? These are you look at these components of the self. Quý vị thấy 5 cái thành phần của cái ngã mình đó. How intricately interwoven in your being. Cái cuộc sống quý vị nó dựa vào cái 5 cái uẩn này. Okay, this is why you're hopelessly imprisoned. Nên quý vị khó mà thoát được lắm. Okay? Questions? Look at a person like a boy. Nhìn cái đứa con nít như vậy. You know, he's hopelessly imprisoned his body. There's no way to tell him otherwise. Đứa con nít thì mình thấy nó không cách nào giảng nó cái nguồn là gì. Try to explain to him the 5 skandhas. Think he's interested? Hey boy, you want to learn about the 5 skandhas, boy? You want to learn about the 5 skandhas? See, I rest my case. Cái vì thế hỏi thằng nít, mày có muốn học về cái nguồn không? Hễ mày. See, he runs away. Yeah. For those you on the internet, you can see I try to teach a boy. How old is he? 4-year-old boy about the 5 skandha. I asked him, would you like to learn about the 5 skandha? He immediately ran away and made a face. Okay? You think you're any different? When we try to tell you about escaping the wheel reincarnation, Kim Điển said, yeah, right. Unfortunately, from my vantage point, you're no different from the boys. Quý vị không khác gì thằng nhóc này hết đó. Okay? You refuse to learn about the 5 skandha. Quý vị không chịu học về cái ngũ uẩn này. Okay, anyone else? Yes. Yes. Yeah. In principle, yes. Okay. If you cultivate, you plant the seed of liberation in your consciousness. Quý vị tu thì quý vị sẽ trồng cái chủng tử của giải thoát trong cái thức của quý vị. It's always there. Will always be there, waiting for the chance to activate again. Và khi quý vị có cái chủng tử trong cái tầm thức của quý vị rồi đó, thì nó luôn luôn nó có ở đó. Nó đợi khi cái duyên nó chín đó, thì quý vị sẽ bắt đầu tiếp tục tìm lại. So for example, there's some people among you, for example, I know where some of you are not interested are not interested in money that much. Hàng quý vị, okay? If you cultivate up to a certain level, okay, if you really cultivate in the past, then now you're not as attached to money. Càng như nếu trong quá khứ mà quý vị mà đã tu rồi đấy, thì bây giờ trong cái tâm quý vị đó không có ham tiền đâu. You're not attached to money. You're not attached to sex. Quý vị không có tham cái chuyện tình dục đâu. Okay? Those are the indicators that you have seeds in your consciousness. Cái đó chứng minh cho quý vị thấy trong cái tâm thức quý vị nó có những cái chủng tử đó rồi. You find it easier to stay celibate. Người độc thân nó dễ hơn một tí. Okay? So once you have those seeds in the future, they can be reactivated very quickly. Trong tương lai, trong cái kiếp sau, trong tương lai quý vị có thể giấy khởi những chủng tử nó lại rất là dễ dàng. Okay? That's why when you cultivate, you never lose. So, thành ra khi quý vị tu, quý vị không bao giờ thiệt thòi hết. Okay? Questions? Cultivation is a world transcending pursuit. Tu hành là, at least in Mahayana, cho bên Phật Pháp chúng ta nó tu để tìm cái giải thoát. Okay? Contrary to the non-Buddhist approaches. Ngược lại những cái tôn giáo mà ngoài đạo đó, they're not seeking liberation, do they? They're not seeking at all. Họ đâu có tìm giải thoát đâu. Think about it. They're seeking attachment. Khác biệt là những tôn giáo khác, người ta tìm cầu cái sự, ta khuyến khích cái sự chấp trước, ta không khuyến khích cái sự xả bỏ. They do not encourage you to let go. Okay? Let go of your attachment to these 5 components of your ego. Cái Phật giáo đó dạy quý vị, khuyến khích quý vị nên xả bỏ những cái chấp trước về cái ngũ uẩn này. What is fame? What is recognition? As compared to the 5 skandhas. Cái danh vọng đối với ngũ uẩn là cái gì trong đó? What is it? Fame, recognition. Which skandhas is that? Cái danh vọng là cái gì? Which one? Huh? What does it belong? Number 2, feeling. It feels good when you're famous. Or feels bad when you're famous. Right? Okay, that's number 2. What else? That's it? Go ahead. Number 3, thinking. Why is it thinking? I am famous. Danh tiếng là biết là mình là nổi tiếng, mình có tư tưởng đó, right? Okay. What else? Number 4. Why number 4? Thứ tư. You naturally do things that famous people do. Thứ tư là cái hành này có nghĩa là quý vị tự động làm những chuyện mà người nổi tiếng làm. You know, you buy like you are a Facebook, what's that guy, owner of Facebook. You know, you buy a lot of land. You know, when you buy a house, no enough. You buy all the land around the houses so that it's yours alone. Privacy. Như thầy nghe nói cái ông chủ hãng Facebook mua cái nhà không đủ, phải mua hết tất cả đất xung quanh nhà để mình có cái sự privacy của mình. That's what famous people do. You don't have to explain to them. Tự động họ biết làm những chuyện như vậy. Right? What else is there? That's it? What? Number 5. Why number 5? Số 5. Consciousness. Why number 5? Yeah. You know you're famous. You know you're famous. Right? I am famous. I can feel it. Mình biết là mình nổi tiếng. That's it? 1. Why 1? Why 1? You use Botox. You go to the hairdresser once a month. You color your hair. Liposuction. So many things to do to take care of the body. Okay? So you see? So pay attention to what your spiritual teachers advise you to do. Nên quý vị phải để ý tới là cái người mà lãnh đạo tinh thần quý vị khuyến khích quý vị làm cái gì. Okay? Do not be deluded do not be misled by the clothes they wear. Đừng có bị cái áo người ta mặc mà lừa gạt quý vị. If a monk like wear garb like me, well, better than me, okay, advises you to encourage you to seek worldly pursuits. Cái người lãnh đạo tinh thần mà khuyến quý vị tìm cầu những cái theo đuổi những việc thế sự. Seek to nurture your body. Chẳng như khuyến quý vị nên dung túng cái thân này. For example, Nichiren. Ví dụ một cái Phật giáo Nhật Bản tên là Nichiren. Anyone heard of Nichiren before? It's very popular in this country. Rất nhiều người nha. Very well organized, very powerful, very strong, very rich. Okay? They advocate taking care of the body, the feeling, thinking you're special. Okay? That's worldly pursuit. Cái đó là thế gian pháp. If you teach Tai Chi, is that a world transcending or worldly dharma? Quý vị dạy Tai Chi Hả? Cái đó là thế gian pháp, là xuất thế pháp. Worldly. Why would you spend time teaching about worldly things? What for? And do not be fooled by the clothing, by the words. Okay? You have to look at the dharmas being taught. Quý vị đừng có nhìn cái hình dạng bên ngoài, cái lời nói mà khiến quý vị hiểu lầm. Okay? Phải nhìn nó là cái mục tiêu họ là cái gì. All these worldly dharmas reinforces five skandhas. Let me tell you. Tất cả những thế gian pháp á, nó làm cho cái ngũ uẩn nó càng ngày nó càng mạnh, càng ngày quý vị càng kẹt vào cái ngũ uẩn. They're not about liberation at all. They're about pleasure. Họ tìm cái sung sướng. Agree, disagree? Yes.
How about the monk practicing Shaolin?
Which one? Do you have any name in particular?
The first thing that Bodhidharma teach the monk.
Okay. I don't know. When Bodhidharma, I don't dare comment. Có người hỏi thắc mắc, someone asked me, what about the monks who practice martial arts, like Venerable Bodhidharma? Như Bồ Đề Đạt Ma mà tu võ thì sao? Tu võ Thiếu Lâm thì sao? I wasn't there, so what do I know? Hồi đó thầy đó chưa có mặt. I wasn't born yet. Or maybe I was an animal back then. Nhiều khi lúc kiếp trước thầy là con thú thành thầy. I don't remember. Yes, Ru Ching. Thank you. Xin cảm ơn người Tàu. This has come from a Chinese people. Because Shaolin is their invention. Người Tàu không có hiểu được đây. Only Chinese people will understand this. The Vietnamese have no clue. Người Việt Nam không hiểu gì hết đó. Or Texans. What makes you think Shaolin is martial arts? Tại sao quý vị dám nghĩ là Thiếu Lâm là một cái loại võ? It's not. Không phải võ đâu. You're wrong. Back then, Shaolin is not considered martial art. Hồi đó cái Thiếu Lâm không phải là loại võ. It only became martial arts later. There's no such a thing as martial arts back then. It was Shaolin. It's no martial art. It was cultivation. Yeah, it was cultivation. Hồi xưa đó, cái Thiếu Lâm đó là tu. I remember I wasn't there, so thầy nói thiệt quý vị hồi đó chưa có mặt sao biết được, nhưng mà thầy đoán hồi đó cái Thiếu Lâm thiệt là cái loại tu, phương pháp tu chứ không phải là võ đâu. Later on, why do I claim it's a form of cultivation? Tại sao thầy dám nói cái đó là một cái phương pháp tu? Because many of Venerable Bodhidharma's disciples became enlightened through the Shaolin. Rất nhiều đệ tử của ngài Bồ Đề Đạt Ma đắc giác ngộ nhờ cái Thiếu Lâm đó. You know that? Many his disciples became enlightened. Nhiều người đệ tử của ngài Bồ Đề Đạt Ma đắc giác ngộ nhờ cái luyện công. In other words, back then the Shaolin is a form of Chan practice. Từ hồi xưa đó, đối với thầy theo cái quan niệm thầy á, cái Thiếu Lâm hồi xưa là một cái loại thiền, the form of Chan. How did it become martial art? Sao nó trở thành võ thuật? How? Because these loser monks, they quit. Tại vì những cái người sư mà theo tu không nổi, họ bỏ cuộc. They when return to lay life, họ trở về hoàng tục. They have no real skills. Không có một cái tài cán gì hết đó, except for the Shaolin. Biết một cái công phu đó thôi. They started teaching it. Okay? And it became deviant. Bước đầu nó trở thành thế gian pháp became worldly dharma because now they are showing off and trying to make a living with it. Thì lúc đó họ phải biểu diễn, họ phải dùng cái võ thuật đó để sinh nhai mới thành cái thế gian pháp. Lúc trước á, cái võ Thiếu Lâm không phải là thế gian pháp. Originally, Shaolin is not worldly dharma at all, in my opinion. But since you weren't there either, you cannot disprove me otherwise. Mà hồi đó quý vị cũng không có mặt ở đó, thành ra quý vị cãi thầy không được. See? Does it help? I have a theory. My theory is that Shaolin only become a martial arts later, not when it first invented. Quý vị biết không? Cái Thiếu Lâm á, là một cái pháp mà lúc mới ngài Bồ Đề Đạt Ma sáng tạo ra, cái đó là một cái loại thiền công. Okay, it's a Chan practice, and later on, these failures left the system and turned into martial art. Từ sau này ấy, những cái người mà họ thất bại đó, nhà sư thất bại, those loser monks who left and never came back, và những người mà bỏ cuộc mà không bao giờ trở lại, không dám trở lại. Okay, and that's how they invented something called martial arts. It's only it takes a Chinese who. It takes a Chinese who appreciate his Chinese historical interpretation. Only Chinese can appreciate it. Có người Hoa mới thấy được cái hay của câu chuyện, cái lý thuyết của thầy thôi. Vietnamese say no. I don't think Chinese is that clever. Okay, what makes you think that Chan is not martial art? Tại sao quý vị dám nghĩ rằng thiền không phải là võ? Chan has many forms. Cái thiền nó có nhiều cái dạng lắm. Okay, and I submit to you. To me, it's called Chan. Why do I dare state that Shaolin as the first form, as the first taught by Bodhidharma is Chan, is meditation? Tại sao thầy dám nói rằng cái Thiếu Lâm, phương pháp Thiếu Lâm đó mà khi mà thời ngài Bồ Đề Đạt Ma đó ở chùa Thiếu Lâm Từ đó, cái đó là thiền. Why do I dare say that? What's the basis of my claim? Tại sao thầy dám nói như vậy? Anyone? Yes. Yes, but he taught martial arts according to this clever Vietnamese novice nun. They don't understand. The Vietnamese don't understand the Chinese culture yet. Why not? Why is it Chan? Tại sao ngài Bồ Đề Ma truyền cái đó là cái thiền chứ không phải là võ? It is meditation. It's not martial art. Tại sao vậy? Anyone? Yes, sir.
Well, maybe not exactly what it really was. I could easily see that all kinds of activities could be Chan. All kinds, I mean, just a huge variety of activities could be Chan if you enter with Chan.
Do you remember our founders of Way Yang lineage? Quý vị nhớ cái chuyện ngài quy ngưỡng thiền sư không? He accepted the son of the prime minister as his disciple, left home disciple. Ngài Quy Sơn thiền sư đó chấp nhận một con trai của thủ tướng đời đó làm đệ tử người xuất gia. Remember that story?
Yes.
Remember that? Huh? You remember? Wow. what chant did he teach him? Because later, that man, after 3 years with Wei Shen, with that Wei Yang master, Wei mountain master, after 3 years he left. He founded his own chant temple. You know that? He's even bigger than his own master's chant temple. Thì cái người học trò đó, sau khi ở với ông Quy Sơn Thiền Sư 3 năm đó, thì bỏ đi lập một cái thiền viện khác, nó còn to hơn sư phụ mình nữa. Cái thiền viện nó nổi tiếng là Thiền Tông, cái thiền viện của nước Hoa. It became one of the more famous Chan monasteries in the history of Chinese Buddhism, mà trở thành một cái thiền viện nó rất là nổi tiếng trong cái lịch sử của Đại thừa bên Trung Quốc. What did he learn? Học cái gì vậy? Anyone remember? Gánh nước. He only carried water from the river to the monastery for 3 years. Cái ông thầy thiền sư đó 3 năm ở với ngài Quy Sơn Thiền Sư chỉ học gánh nước, mỗi ngày đi gánh nước từ sáng tới tối, from morning to evening he carried water for 3 years. And now Qin Xiang said that's a form of practice. Okay? All he could do is recite the Buddha's name. Ông chỉ gánh nước mà niệm Phật thôi. That's all he did. Carried water and recited the Buddha's name all day. Because that's all he knew. Chỉ biết chừng đó thôi. Chỉ biết chừng đó thôi. Okay? That is chant, right? You agree that's chant. Quý vị đồng ý cái đó là một cái phương pháp luyện thiền. Đồng ý là không đồng ý? Agree or disagree? Yes? Chinese people, I need you to agree with me. Thank you. Okay? Then what makes you think that Shaolin is not chant? Nếu quý vị nghĩ mà tại sao quý vị dám nghĩ đi gánh nước á, là thiền, thì tại sao cái Thiếu Lâm không phải là thiền? How dare you not think that Shaolin is not chant? I ask Vietnamese people now. How dare you? It's chant. Agree or disagree? If carrying water is chant, then why not Shaolin? Nếu như mà gánh nước á, là thiền, thì tại sao là công phu, luyện công, luyện võ không phải là thiền? Why not? It is exactly chant because cái đó thiền lại vì what's the similarity between Bodhidharma and Wei Shan, Chan Master? Cái điểm đồng điểm của giữa ngài Bồ Đề Đạt Ma với ngài Quy Sơn Thiền Sư ở chỗ nào? What's the common denominator that makes it chant mà ngoài cái đó là thiền? Yes? Yes, sir.
It was given techniques given by a Chan teacher to his students for particular purposes in order for them to learn Chan.
Excellent. The Americans got it. Người Mỹ hiểu được. You Vietnamese don't get it. And Chinese people? You understand what he said? Nghe ông này hiểu, nó có hiểu không? Because it's instructions from a Chan master. Cái thiền nó vô lượng vô biên cái dạng. Chan has so many forms. As long as an accomplished Chan master teaches you, that is Chan. Nếu như cái vị thiền sư mà đắc đạo rồi mà dạy cái vị đó, tất cả cái gì các ngài đã dạy, có thể là tài chi, có thể là khí công, it could be tai chi chuyển, it could be chi kung, it could be carrying water, it is Chan. Is it clear? Đều là thiền hết. Tại vì đây là lời dạy của một cái người thiền sư đã đắc đạo rồi. Thì cái đó gọi là thiền. If this meditation master has not accomplished the way yet, it's not necessarily Chan. In other words, nói cách khác, nếu quý vị thiền sư này mà chưa đắc đạo thì chưa chắc cái này gọi là thiền. Đồng ý không? Is that clear? Because he has a wisdom that we don't have. Cái người thiền sư này giác ngộ rồi thành có cái trí huệ mà chúng ta không có. Cái người thường không có được, không hiểu được. Is that clear? I'm so tired. Mệt quá, phải suy nghĩ, mệt quá. The challenges to my authority as a Chan master is very tiring. Mấy người mà thắc mắc ông thầy này có hiểu về thiền làm thầy mệt dễ sợ lắm. Yes. Cái đó gọi là gì? Phật giáo gọi là gì? Phương tiện. Ông thiền sư có nhiều phương tiện dễ sợ cái vị không thể tưởng tượng được. What is it? What is a technical Buddhist term for that? It's called expedience. A Chan master has so many experience, whether it's telling you to carry water, okay, telling you to go and separate the husk from the rice, hoặc là biểu quý vị đi giả gạo đi, okay? That's a Chan instruction. Cái đó là cái lời dạy thiền. To the sixth patriarch, ngài Lục Tổ được dạy như vậy, đi giả gạo thôi. You know, the sixth patriarch was told to go and pound the rice. Huh? That's Chan right there. Cái đó là thiền. Wait, why do I keep on explaining this before I explain the sixth patriarch sutra? I'm running out of things to explain now. Quý vị có hỏi thầy làm cái thằng ngày càng giảng càng nhiều, bữa nào thầy giảng kinh Lục Tổ không có gì mới mà giảng hết á, chết rồi. I'm running out of things to explain. These are details about the sixth patriarch sutra. I'm giving it for you now before I can explain. You see? Isn't it beautiful? Thấy tuyệt vời không? Yeah, that's Chan. Dễ sợ không? Nhờ như vậy mà Lục Tổ mới giác ngộ được. You know that? Because of this. For 8 months. 6 to 8 months. That's how the sixth patriarch attained enlightenment as soon as the fifth patriarch says, let me explain to you about life. Vì bắt giả gạo như vậy 6 tháng tới 8 tháng mà lúc mà ngài Ngũ Tổ mà ngồi xuống mà khoác cái y lên đầu ngài Lục Tổ và bắt đầu giảng kinh, ngài giác ngộ ngay lập tức. Dễ sợ không? Cái vị gọi đó thiền là cái gì? You don't call that Chan. What you call that? Pounding the rice? Martial art? Oh, please. Tuyệt vời không? Thiền nó rộng như vậy, nó phải thiền như cái vị mà nó eo hẹp, phải gọi là thiếu lâm tự. See how wide Chan is, how pervasive Chan is. Okay? All right, time is up. We should transfer the merit and virtue. Hết thì giờ rồi, mời quý vị đứng dậy. Hồi hướng công đức.
anyway, 20 years of support, and he really got so little to show for, which is pitiful. So my point here is that you can grind it out, but it is much more efficient to get guidance. Okay, grinding out works for a very limited number of people. Superior people like Master Xu Yun, who could grind it out his entire career. Okay, that's how he got there, albeit not as high as he could have if he had some better directions. Okay. Anyway, that's why we're learning. We make sure that we learn from the great teacher. Don't waste time. I'm trying to remind you not to waste time. Listen to the lesser instructions. Master Hsuan to me is the best I've seen. Okay, in this Dharma ending age, bar none. So it may sound simple, but actually it's very, very, very good instructions. So that's why we're studying his teachings and we listen to it, and we'll plant the seeds for great enlightenment for you. Okay, I hope. Okay, so here we are continuing with from the last where we're picking it up where we left off, the last Chanchi, some sort of Indian master here who came to China to propagate the Dharma, and circumstances have made him stay in the mountains and to cultivate. That's what we have a choice to do. See, if we are cultivators and people who don't support us, Master Hsuan would say, if no one supports me, I starve to death. So be it. It's not my fault. When I cultivate, the Dharma protectors are supposed to step up. If they don't, it's their fault. It's not my fault that I die of starvation, that I die from hunger, if I die from poverty, if I die from the cold. It's your fault. You're supposed to protect us. You're supposed to support our cultivation. You don't, it's your fault. Okay? So for a person like Master Hsuan Hua, he says, okay, I die, so be it. But so that's why we have the option. We can simply go to the mountain and practice in the mountain. We don't need to pay rent. You don't need to pay for water, electricity, toilet, sewage, and so forth. Okay, so that's what this Indian monk did. He went to the mountain and practiced, and then he tamed some sort of tiger. Okay, and the wild beasts in the jungle, in the mountain. So he tamed some sort of tiger. Some tiger came and took a cane and tapped the cane on the tiger's head. There's a prior part. I read the prior part a little bit, a few slides before, and spoke Dharma for him. Can you imagine you take a stick and you point it to a tiger and tiger would not attack you? It's cool. Huh? It's impressive. I take a stick and I point it towards Xian Chun. She would run away or either attack me, you know. But the tiger, he would stand there and listen to the bull-headed guy speak something to him. Okay, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a very cool state. So you know this monk is unusual. He's no ordinary monk. If you take a cane and tap it on my head, I get very upset. Okay, so you can imagine how the tiger would feel. And then the tiger, after he listened to Dharma, he went away, never bothered him again. And he spoke Dharma for the tiger. I don't know, maybe tiger language, could be. And after that, they stopped eating people. Are we there yet? We start on slide 5? Oh, okay. Continue.
游过这么几次啊，那么以后这个人呢，再见着这个山上的老虎啊，他也不咬人了。
After a few times, when this person sees the tiger in this mountain again, it stopped biting people.
在这个山上他住了大约有1-2年。
On this mountain, he, Dharma Master Gunavarman, lived there for another year or 2.
以后啊，这个宋文帝一定啊要请他到南京去。到南京啊，那个地方住，他就去了。
Later, Emperor Wen of the Song dynasty insisted on inviting him to Nanjing. He invited him to live in Nanjing, so he went there.
See, this is a difference of the times. Okay, back then, the emperors, our leaders, have blessings. And that's why they appreciated the Buddha Dharma. They appreciated, they understood the importance of spirituality. Nowadays, you don't have such leaders anymore. You know, back then the emperors would sponsor the monks and build temples and so forth. Nowadays, they don't. Nowadays, it's tax breaks. It's all money driven and votes driven. Okay? And that makes it much more difficult for people to cultivate. And so the emperor heard of him, and so you understand the mindset of such an emperor. He says, I'm looking for virtuous people. And I heard this virtuous person, let's invite him. Okay? And so that we can benefit from his wisdom, from his insights. So that's why he invited the Indian monk to move to the capital city.
去了，这个宋文帝呀，就对他讲：“我现在呀做皇帝，本来我也想吃斋。”
He went there. Emperor Wen of Song said to him, I am now the emperor. Originally, I wanted to be a vegetarian.
但是在我这个环境之下，也不可能，这个情形呢，很复杂，不许可我吃斋，这怎么办呢？
But in my environment, it's not possible. My situation is very complicated. It doesn't allow me to be a vegetarian. What shall I do?
Okay, now, one thing that you need to be aware of, we talk about how the Chinese emperors used to honor the monks of virtues, wisdom, and that's the tradition they set for their own, not the country alone, but what they did for those great emperors, they taught their own children the importance of seeking out the wise teachers, okay, and seeking out the Dharma, because you look at the Dharma as a treasure, as a real asset to the country. So far, so good. Those are the blessings from the emperor and blessings from the people. Now it's not the case anymore, so we need to be aware of that. And now, at a smaller scale, we're not talking about the emperor of the nation. I'm talking about the emperor of the household. That lady, that man there. Okay? You listen to this, and you should also look at yourself, that you are in a position of influence. You have the foresight, and you can make a difference to your family. So back then, the people had the blessings. That's why they had a good emperor who would stir them in the right direction. Okay? It's not just the emperor's blessing alone, but also the subject. They have blessings, they have virtues. But now, we don't have it. Because, let's not go into politics, okay, Chan Phong? He's going to get all upset again. But you are the emperor of your family. Keep that in mind. You make a huge difference, can make a huge difference in your own children's life, your family's life. That's it. That's all you can do right now. Don't forget it. Okay? Yeah. Continue. So the emperor here, all of a sudden he says, I want to be vegetarian, but I can't. It's too complicated. It's not as simple as it sounds. What do? There is beluga, caviar, there is champagne, and there is excellent French food. Yeah, but not enough. Okay, continue.
他就对这个宋文帝说是皇帝的修行和老百姓的修行是不同的。老百姓呢，
He told the Emperor Wen of Song, an emperor's cultivation differs from a commoner's cultivation. A commoner The Emperor Wen of Song wanted to receive the 5 precepts, be a vegetarian and not eat meat.
求这功德凯法师说你做皇帝的修行和老百姓的。
So he begged Dharma Master Gongde Kai. Gongde Kai said, your cultivation as the emperor versus that of a commoner.
老百姓呢，他没有什么威德，他不能做什么好事。
A commoner doesn't have much awesome virtue. He can't do many good deeds.
你这个做皇帝的不需要你自己一定吃斋，你只要做令这个一切的老百姓得到好处。
As the emperor, you yourself don't have to be a vegetarian. You just need to do things that benefit all citizens.
你做种种的好事，这就是修行。这个功德凯法师对这个宋文帝说是
You do all kinds of good deeds, that's cultivation. Dharma Master Gongdekai told Emperor Wen of Song, that is to say,
譬如你发政思人，请做这个好的政策。
for example, you can decree a policy of benevolence and only do this good policy.
你命令这个老百姓他们少杀生，这就是救了很多的生命。
If you order the citizens to kill less, this action will save many lives.
不是说在你这吃一顿饭不吃一个众生，这就算功德。你要能叫老百姓。
It's not saying that you eating a meal without eating a living being counts towards merit and virtue.
不杀生，只要无形中你就是吃的。
If you can teach all commoners not to kill, then imperceptibly you are eating vegetarian.
你叫老百姓孝顺父母，这也就是你孝顺父母。
If you teach all commoners to be filial towards their parents, it's like you are filial to your parents.
你令老百姓改恶向善，这也就是你自己修行。
If you order all commoners to change from evil to good, this is your cultivation as well.
所以你不必说我少吃一点肉，或者少喝一点酒，这就是修行。
So you don't have to say, I will eat less meat or drink less alcohol. This is cultivation.
做皇帝你只要能令老百姓都诸恶不作，众善奉行，这就是你自己修行。
As an emperor, as long as you can order the commoners to refrain from doing all evil and doing all good, then this is your own cultivation.
这宋文帝听功德凯法师说完之后，他说
Once Emperor Wen of Song heard Dharma Master Gongde Kai's words, he sighed.
这个一般的沙门呢，他们都迷远；一般的儒者，他们都迷近。
Ordinary Sramanas are all infatuated with conditions. Ordinary Confucians are all infatuated with sutras or scriptures.
Okay, just for clarity, change infatuated are all confused about conditions. It's not infatuated, confused about conditions. Because I want you to listen to this and understand what he's trying to say, and then we'll discuss it later, okay? So if we let you, we allow you to be confused by this, confused by sutras. It's not infatuated. They're confused. They don't understand. That's what Gongde Kai was telling the emperor. Continue.
迷缘呢，就是讲这个因果循环报应不爽。
Being confused about conditions is to discuss the cycle of cause and effect, i.e., retribution will not fail.
Change it. Okay, very good. Continue.
迷信呢，就执照这个文章或者这个典籍也是书所有的一切这个是经书之类。
Being confused about sutras, scriptures, is an attachment to articles and classical literature, i.e., books, all kinds of sutra books and such.
今天我和法师你这一个谈论呢，这真可以了然天人的大道。
From today's discussion with the Master, it really gave me a clearer understanding of the great Tao of heaven and human beings.
Yeah, don't do Tao. Tao is there. Tao, it uses a D. Yeah. It's
天人这种关系于是乎就给这位法师造了一个齐桓寺。
The relationship between heaven and human beings. As a result, he built Qi Huan Temple for the Master.
okay. Stop.
这齐桓
Okay. Questions, comments. You have no questions? Seriously? Back there.
Master, so back to the slide.
Which slide?
19 and 20 is that if you were to teach other people not to kill, become vegetarian, or be filial to your parents, you don't have to be filial, then you already become filial and become vegetarian. So does that mean that I teach other people how to cultivate, I don't cultivate, and I'll become enlightened?
Yeah, basically he's saying that if you teach other people to cultivate, you don't have to cultivate. That's what it sounds like to me as a Westerner, educated person. Huh?
I think only if you're an emperor.
Only if an emperor.
Yeah.
But I'm an emperor in my family. I teach my family.
He's talking to an emperor.
I'm emperor in my family. I'm sorry, ma'am. You may not think so, but I'm an emperor in my family.
In the Chinese, it says all commoners. 你教老百姓都孝顺父母。
Yeah.
老百姓。
老百姓 is my family.
No, it's not.
No, you don't get it. There is a sphere influence. Emperor is big. I have an influence on my family.
I think the number counts. The number of people counts from this context when I read it in Chinese.
No, it doesn't. Your number is too small. 老百姓 is too small. It should be 千百姓, 万百姓, 一百姓. Yes, there's a question there in the back. No? Okay, no questions, no comments. 7.
Oh, thank you, Master. The one part where it says about the focusing too much on causes and conditions, causes and effect, isn't that like the Pratyeka Buddha method of reaching like Pratyeka Buddhism? To focus on cause and effect? Why is it not good?
Yeah, it matters. What are you talking about, you sacrilegious person? Cause effect is a universal rule. How dare you question cause and effect? Yes, 4.
Master, I sort of agree with Wenbo Shenxing. When Heng says it is a few people that he's going to affect, when the emperor says it, he's affecting his whole, the whole kingdom, all his people. When Master says it, you're affecting all your disciples. That's a lot of people. But when Heng says it, it's only a few people. So it doesn't have the same meaning.
Go ahead,
Master, so if Donald Trump tell you to cultivate, meaning that he's become enlightened?
Okay, so the Chinese are disagreeing with the Vietnamese. Yes, what do the non-Asian think? 7.
Thank you, Master. You know, when I hear do the best with what you have. And when they say that the emperor has awesome virtue, that it's the same type of thing you were saying before with the vows to save all living beings, that this is an instance in which you take on the mind of an emperor to make a great decision to help as many people as possible. And every person that you do help is an example of an awesome virtue.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Anyone else has any problems? Yes, number 4.
From Jane, 区名, 百姓 means 100 surnames. 老百姓区名 his people.
Okay. Same thing. I stand my ground. He has his people. I have my own family. Okay. Anyone else? Diego, he says, I'm so tired. I have no energy. Can I just rest? Okay. Anyone else? No one is curious? Huh? Okay. Let's shelve it for... Yeah, 6?
Master, I was wondering, does that mean that, let's say we have children and grandchildren and somehow we're able to influence them or help them in their practice, that then we receive blessings?
Yeah, that's what the Gung Ter Kai, Indian monk, was saying. You don't have to do it. You just have to put more emphasis on teaching others how to do it. Similarly, like I say, I'm too old, I'm too busy, so you do it. You become enlightened. Then I also become enlightened. That's my cultivation. No, you disagree, a Chinese person? A Taiwanese person? 5.
I think that's taking too much liberty out of this context. He didn't say enlightened. He says he'll have great merit and virtues.
You accuse me of taking liberties now? It's getting personal. Wait a minute. I'm just an emperor of my household, my temple. Can I just be an emperor of my temple? It's not taking liberties.
He didn't mention the word enlightened in this context.
It's cultivation. What's the point in cultivating? You're taking things literally. When we say cultivation, the Chinese say, you Chinese people say cultivation. What does it mean? To become enlightened. Yes, ma'am. I will speak for you.
Yes, Master.
You, you may disagree, but when we say 修行, the Chinese say 修行, cultivate, it's for purpose, but it's implied. When they say cultivate, is to become enlightened. But the Chinese culture is very subtle. They're not as explicit as us. We are crude. They say, hey, what's cultivation? What for? I say, hey, don't you get it? Oh, you're not Chinese. Oh, by the way. So for the Americans, they say we cultivate to become enlightened. But for the Chinese language, cultivate means enlightened, to become enlightened. That's implied. Yes? So what he said is not unreasonable. Go ahead, Q&A. What a lively discussion. I discuss my own subjects. It's okay to disagree. It's okay not to agree. Yes, Q&A.
Phật, thầy con không hiểu, có thể là cái lời chỉ dạy của vị tăng này quá cao siêu, hay là cũng có thể là lời dạy của ngài không có đúng theo con nghĩ. Nó có một trong hai trường hợp đó, nhưng mà thường thì mình phải làm thân giáo, là mình phải làm trước rồi mình nói sau, chứ mình nói cho thiên hạ làm mà mình không làm thì con thấy nó không có được suôn sẻ lắm.
Amitabha, Master, I might not understand the teaching of this highly Sanghan. Maybe because his teaching is too superior, so that it might be right or wrong. So to me personally, I think that you have to 身教, like you personally cultivate first before you tell other people to do so.
Yeah, cool technology. You can look at his eyes, his face when he's talking. Way in the back there. I only see like a shadow because the lights are so bright here from where I sit. But now I actually can see his eyes in his glasses. He has no hair. So how cool technology is. Okay, anyone else? It's so cool. Yes. He's right in a sense. Oh, now Diego is woke up. You're a bad role model for Ron. Fourth day, Ron can look, in 4 days I can lie down like him. Yes, go ahead, 3.
Thank you, Master. I think, like for example, in my case that I'm cultivating right now, and my wife, she's taking care of all the things in the house. So I was thinking that she may have a lot of blessings because she's helping me be here. She won't be able to cultivate now, but she's planting the seeds for doing it in the future. So I think that's what happened with the emperor. He's helping all of his subjects. So he's planting the seeds that in a future life he will be able to really cultivate.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Speaking like a smart politician. Anyone else? Isn't it interesting? It makes sense to me. Go ahead, Q&A.
Con nghĩ cái lời khuyên của vị sư người Ấn này đó là nó không có chấp vào tướng. Bởi vì khi mà một ông vua mà dùng cái đức trị để cảm hóa muôn dân thì cái đó nó quan trọng hơn là cái chuyện ăn chay hay là ăn mặn. A Di Đà Phật.
Amitabha, I think that the advice from this Indian monk is not to attach to the mark itself, because once you become a king, an emperor, you use your virtue to rule and cảm hóa is to change, convert, transform 10,000 of your subjects. That is more important than for you to become vegetarian and not drinking wine.
Okay, very good. Sounds good. Yeah, okay. You all make sense from your perspective. Okay, let's talk about, let's discuss it. Let me give you my 2 cents worth. Okay, he says, so the emperor heard of his cultivation, so he says, we could use someone, excuse me, of your wisdom here. So please come to the capital. And he went there. So kudos to the emperor for inviting a person of virtue to the capital to shed lights on his problems and provide new perspectives for the country. Okay, that's so important. And this is a great emperor. This is something that should be encouraged, and it's not happening anymore. Okay, that's the advantage of having the emperor. So in a Chinese system where they have an emperor, and that's why they don't have to worry that much about re-election and or allegation of fraud and so forth. Okay, so there's a real advantage here that they have. That he has. So invited here to go to Nanjing, and he went there, emperor says, I have this burning question. I want to be vegetarian. Okay, but it's too complicated. It's not that simple. I cannot be vegetarian, so how do I become vegetarian? I can't. I try to be vegetarian, but I can't. And what happened is that this is what happens when you as a monk go to the emperor's office. Okay? You now have to talk to the emperor, and you have to give the emperor something that more suitable for him, for the emperor. So he says, you're not a commoner, so you're different. Okay? My point here is that, to me, from a purist perspective, this is compromising. Be careful now. He's going to unravel a little bit later. He's compromising himself. He says, I cultivate, but my cultivation is different from yours. Therefore, I excuse you from being vegetarian. I can be vegetarian, others can be vegetarian, but you can be excused. Okay? That is a compromise that usually occurs because you're under pressure. You're given all these honors, all the attention, the promise of support. You don't have to go back to the mountain anymore. And so it's tempting for you as a monk. Sangwok is laughing now. He says, okay? If you go to the, you go and there, this great things you can get. Warmth, food, water, sewage, toilets, nice bathrooms for us Americans, okay? Okay, insulation, a roof over your head. You don't have to walk in the rain anymore. And you don't have to go down to the river and fetch water anymore. You have running water. So you have different frame of perspectives all of a sudden. And therefore, you speak differently. And this is what he says. You are different. I understand. To me, this is sort of like like parallel, the parallel worlds. Okay, I cultivate, we cultivate, but you don't have to. But your cultivation is different. Why does it have to be different? Are you kidding me? So you're exempt from the commoner's cultivation? So since when is Buddhism discriminatory? He says, I teach you differently from the next person. Because you're different, because you're better, because you are higher status. That's what you run the risk of making your Dharma look like. You have a Dharma that serves the emperor and make it more convenient for him when the commoners still have to suffer. That Dharma is fine. Okay? But it's not pure Mahayana. I doubt that Master Shua would say that. I doubt it very much. He's dead already, so I can't confirm it. Yes, 8.
I see the Phật thầy con không understand that why the emperor cannot be vegetarian. I think.
Well, it doesn't matter. The reason is that he says, I can't. It's too complicated. And it's too very difficult for me. And the guy immediately says, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Don't worry. You're exempt. And here's how you can be exempted.
Sound like
You don't need to know the details, but the point is that he's too quick at jumping to the rescue the emperor. That's my problem. Yes, 4.
From Brady, changing food habits to vegetarian is a method of achieving the greatest good to the greatest many.
Come again?
Changing food habits to vegetarian is a method of achieving the greatest good to the greatest many.
Yes, true. Continue.
From Zhihong, in Chinese, we also say 上行下效, which means what is done at the top, those below will follow suit. That is also how the awesome virtue is manifested, another way of teaching.
Absolutely. Buddhism is to teach by example. You cannot say, you should be vegetarian, but I, as an emperor, don't have to be vegetarian because I have state duties. I need to drink with the other emperors. It's necessary for me to force a strong relationship with other emperors because I need to drink with them, I need to go hunting with them, I need to go eat meat with them, lobsters with them, steak and so forth. When you're not enlightened, like the emperor clearly wasn't, you cannot have exemptions like this. That's not the middle way. All of a sudden, the emperor, the Japanese emperor, for example, this is what happened in Japanese Buddhism. What happened is the monks came and taught them, and then or the Japanese monks came to China and learned a lot from a great Chinese teacher. They brought it back and said, I'm going to bring back this great teaching here to my country in Japan. He came back. Emperor called in and said, oh, wonderful, you back. Okay, and exactly what happened here. Same thing happened in Japan. He says, Buddhism is giving exemptions to the Japanese emperor. You don't have to be vegetarian. You can kill. And that's why the shogun would at night read the Buddha Sutra and in the morning and say, go kill. Because they're exempt. So now, Buddhism in Japan serves the emperor, serves the royalty first, not the whole nation. Because they thinking that you serve the emperor, therefore you serve the nation. So there are double standards in Buddhism. It's no longer Buddhism, you have double standards for confused people. Confused people are confused people, whether you're an emperor or not, you're still confused. Therefore, you must be taught how to remove your confusion. You don't, you will destroy Buddhism. That's what happened in Japan. Buddhism in Japan is personally weird. The double standards for confused people. The emperor's confused, but no, since you're emperor, therefore you exempt all these things, therefore you never become enlightened. If you never become enlightened, how are you going to be able to sponsor Buddhism in a proper way? If I allow a Chinese doctor who sponsors me to tell me what to do, or influence my actions, how can I cultivate? I'm asking you. It's a very fundamental question. If I need to answer to you. I need to answer someone who pays for my bills. That's bound to happen. Yes? This is why the Chinese Chan masters would not go to the capital city upon the emperor's invitation. They say, hey, it's not going to work for me. I can't teach you. You're looking for a dharma from me to suit your needs as an emperor, not as a confused emperor. You see the angle here is that he's confused emperor. And this guy here is giving him exemptions for an enlightened emperor. You understand? You're an enlightened emperor, you don't have to be vegetarian. You can eat anything you want. I can't care less. But if you're confused and you want to become enlightened, become a better emperor, you better be vegetarian. Is it clear? That's why this kind of brand of Buddhism cannot go very far with the emperor, with the country. It didn't last. I don't have any writing or any things from this Gunther Kai, Indian guy. If he has it, I would throw it in a trash can myself. This kind of Buddhism serves the emperor's needs to help him remain confused. How can he be a better emperor if he is allowed to remain confused? This is not a popularity contest. It's not because we need to say something to make the president happy or the emperor happy or the party secretary happy, whatever, okay? It's about what we tell you to help you remove your confusion. That's our jobs. Not to perpetuate your confusion. Because this guy, the emperor, started with a good intention. He says, I want to remove my confusion. I feel that being vegetarian is a good thing for me to get started. Instead of encouraging it, he says, no, you can be exempted. That's what you say to emperors, to please them. You're special, you're exempt from this. You're not as confused, you know? Your confusion will go away eventually. It's a sales pitch. This is what this guy is doing to the emperor. That's why the emperor, what? So happy, he says, I will build temples for you. I will sponsor a lot of monks and nuns. And the guy went away and said, see, I helped Buddhism become stronger in China. My mission accomplished. Better in the back. Mission accomplished. I built temples. I have monks and nuns studying Buddhism. Resounding success. Can the monks and nuns who depend on such money, such temples, become enlightened, you think? Have you thought about it? Huh? If this temple here, you came to do a chanchi, came about because I stole money from others, I cheated others, okay? In order for the big goal of helping humanity, helping build Buddhism, what are your chances of becoming enlightened if the foundation of your cultivation of this chanchi is based on corruption and thievery and delusion? The food you eat will be tainted. The water you drink. Okay? Yes, 6.
Brady has here, surely you cannot be a confused emperor and really be enlightened, right, Master?
Come again?
Brady McBride has here on YouTube. Surely you cannot be a confused emperor and really be enlightened, right, Master?
Of course not. I feel for this emperor. He started with good intentions. And this guy says, you know what, I have a way, I have an exemption for you. I would throw him out myself. I want no special treatment, you hear? I'm confused. Treat me like a confused person. That's why I ask. It's important because when you come to a temple, okay, you know different from this emperor here. He says, I want to be vegetarian. I want to open my wisdom. I want to cultivate, okay? And because you drive a nice car, and we notice it because you have cameras here in the parking lot. I say, oh, look at that. Who is that? It's Vicky, Lexus, SUV. Okay? So, treat her differently. You know, I remember I was at Blue Mountain Temple. Okay, that tiny, tiny temple over there is not even a temple, like 2 houses put together. About the size of 2 houses put together. And Gu Yin is there because Gu Yin was cooking for us. Okay, back then. It was good times back then. Now Gu Yin doesn't have time for us anymore. So I remember we were very poor and no one took us seriously. And because the relics came, and so I think it's a Vietnamese gentleman family came to our temple because they heard of the relics. So they asked, can we see the relics? Okay, and whatever. And then after they, were shown relics, okay, and they presented me with a check. Okay, $1,500. Okay. Immediately, he wrote a check. Can I make a donation, Master? $1,500. I still remember it. It's a big check for me. And so my point here is that very rarely did I find a first-time visitor give me a check of $1,500. So immediately I said, what kind of car does he drive? So surely enough, it's a Mercedes S-Class. Five something, it's not even four. So my point here is that they do things to expect special treatment. So what did I do? I took a check, I put it in my pocket, and it's only later I found out $1,500. I usually take a check and put it in my pocket, okay, to show, oh, thank you. Okay, I don't go like this. Because if I go in like this, I'd be, oh, thank you so much. Okay, so put it like that. And later, that's when I found out the amount. But he was disappointed. It showed in his face. I mean, he said like, is that all? Thank you, that's it? No tea? You're not going to talk to me? Seriously? I just spent $1,500 for nothing? You got my point? This guy expects special treatment, and the monk gave it to him immediately. That's why his Dharma didn't last very long. Because he's serving the elite. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. So we can say that he climbed on conditions?
Yes, exactly. That's what Master Shinhua said. Don't climb on conditions. You cultivate. When you're a monk, you better climb on conditions. Because I said, S-Class only? Come on, if you're rich, you come to my temple, at least drive a Bentley. Then I pay attention to you. No one yet. That's why I'm saying Bentley, okay? When the next guy drives a Bentley, I say, only a Bentley? Maybach, man. Anyway, so he says, the emperor wanted 5 priests vegetarian or eat meat, and then Gung Te Kai immediately says, I give you an exemption. You are the exception. Of course, you are the exception. I will exempt you from it. Here's the problem. This is why the virtuous Chan masters refuse to go to the capital city to see the emperor and talk to the emperor. Because you go there, you're bound to do this. If you didn't, the emperor would be offended. Like what happened to Bodhidharma. Emperor Wu of Liang dynasty didn't hear what he wanted from great master Bodhidharma. And that's why later on, Emperor Wu of the Liang dynasty fell and became a hungry ghost. His mistreatment of Bodhidharma precipitated it. So if you do it wrong, you push them down to fall. And if you do it right, they will be offended and then they will ostracize Buddhism. This is why you better off not getting near them. And see, clearly Gungta Kai was not enlightened yet. That's why he climbed on conditions immediately. Is that clear? So you understand the difference between you and Gungta Kai. Do you understand? You can be doing a Chan Chi for 20 years, like that Taiwanese monk I met. He says, I go to China for 20 years now, 8 months. Typically, I spend 8 months of the year in China doing the Chan Chi. But if you do that and you don't have the proper foundation, you can't get very far. This is why you should be so grateful. This is why every evening, morning ceremony, evening ceremony, what do we do? Say, do not climb on conditions. Because if you do, you may be practicing for 20 years, okay? But your doctor supporter calls, say, hey, and you climb on conditions, all your merit and virtues are gone. It takes people like Bodhidharma, like Master Shenhua, who decided to make personal sacrifices. Bodhidharma could have a huge series of temples throughout China and spread Buddhism very quickly. All he had to do is be nice to Emperor Wu of Liang dynasty. That's all it took. Why not? He could have done it, but he didn't. Why not? So that he could transmit it to the second Chinese patriarch, the pure Dharma, not a corrupted Dharma that has been contaminated by power, by money, by influence. Because that, whatever he transmitted to second patriarch, Hui Ge, is the pure Dharma. If he had the temples and he gave all those temples to Hui Ge and say, hey, listen, you're my successor and you have all these institutions, all these followers that you can build upon, okay? Chinese Buddhism would not be as strong, as great as it was. Now you understand why every morning, every evening, you recite, okay, what is it, the 3 principles? Huh? I forgot. You better not forget. Hey, retired spy, what are the 3 principles? You better remember.
Mô Phật và Thầy. Mình Quảng Ngân muốn nói thì cũng hơi dài nữa. Giống cái ông sư này đó, ổng mà bây giờ kể về cái ông sư này, ổng ở Ấn Độ, ổng qua mà ổng nói chuyện tiếp xúc với cái ông vua Đế Thích này đó, là ổng cũng có một cái định lực. Rồi cái người ông vua này đó, ông vua Đế Thích này đó, thì ổng cũng có một cái nước của ổng đó, là cái quyền lực của ổng rất là mạnh. Mà ông vua này đó, ông sư này đó, thì ổng mới khuyên ông này, bây giờ ông á, làm tốt, làm cái gì đó là ông miễn phí hết. Là ông vua Đế Thích này, ông nghe ông cũng tung luận theo, thì ông cũng độ được một số người, chứ không phải là không đâu. Mà cái ông sư này đó, ông cũng độ được cái ông vua Đế Thích này nữa. Mà rồi đó còn muốn đi vô sâu thêm nữa đó, thì muốn lên tới đại thừa đó, thì cái đó là thầy để tùy theo cho ông tu thêm một cấp bậc nữa. Thì ngồi nghĩ thầy này, cái ông sư này đó, thì ông cũng có một cái định lực mà để ông độ cái ông vua Đế Thích này. Ông vua Đế Thích này đó là ông một cái nước đó là ông cái quyền lực ông rất là mạnh, biết không? Ông muốn người ta sống là sống, muốn người ta chết là chết, muốn làm sao mà ông độ được cái ông này đó, ông khỏi ăn chay, ăn miễn phí rồi này kia, là cúng một cái tốt cứu cho một cái đất nước này. Thì ông sư này ông cũng độ được cái ông vua Đế Thích này những cái giống ngày Hòa Thượng Tuyên Hóa vậy đó. Nói ông Bút đó, cha Bút đó, ông á, bây giờ muốn nghe lời tôi đó thì ông trong vòng 4 năm cái tiền lương này ông lãnh mà ông có dám làm không? Ông Bút ông không có dám làm, bởi vì không có dám làm thì sư phụ đó thì cũng không có cho một cái quyền lực, không có cho một cái quyền lực cho ổng để cho ổng thấy. Mô Phật.
Amitabha Master, Boyin would like to say something, but it's kind of long. Just like this monk, he came from India. He met with the emperor and talked to the emperor. That means that he has to have samadhi. This emperor, he has a power over the country, so he's very powerful. So then this monk taught the emperor to do that, and the emperor do as instructed. That means that the emperor actually crossed over many people, not just like that, but if he wanted to go deep into Mahayana, he has to cultivate in a different level. So therefore, I think that the monk can cross over the emperor in that way, must have samadhi, and he also cross over many, many people in that way. Just like Venerable Xuanhua, he wanted to cross over the Bush father. Master Huat said that if you wanted to continue to become a president, you must not receive for your your wages for 4 years. Therefore, I think Venerable Shenhua wanted to teach the Buddha fathers that way.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important for you to appreciate the foresight of Master Shenhua. He says, 动死不攀缘，饿死不化缘，穷死不求缘. Got that? That's the spirit. And that's why I commend the second patriarch. That's what he's doing. It got transmitted to the second generation. Because Master Shenhua had to make sacrifices in order for that to happen. Okay? So he says, oh, you exempt, you're not a commoner. You don't have much awesome virtue. Waiter. Waiter here is not awesome virtue. Here, waiter here in the sense of you don't have the ability to keep people in awe, or your influence, power influence. Okay, but it's okay. You understand the concept here. He says you have a lot of influence. You have a lot of power. Okay, and virtue. Unlike you, commander doesn't have it. You don't have. Therefore, you are exempt. Okay, and here's what happens to a politician. Like the emperor says, okay, yeah, okay then, I don't have to cultivate. I'm special. There's a way, this Dharma is cool. This Dharma makes exceptions for me. Even though I'm, still confused, I'm exempt. I have a problem with that. When I listen to this, I say, oh my God, this really hurts. For what? You need to benefit all citizens. And it says all kinds of good deeds, that's cultivation. Okay? And need to do things and benefit citizens. So basically it says it's practice giving. That's his Dharma door. He says you just practice giving. You don't worry about keeping precepts or take the hard way. Okay, you are exempt from hard work and from making personal sacrifices. You just ask others to make sacrifices. And that's Buddhism for the royalty. You see, sounds familiar? That's what happens in Japan. You can decree policy benevolence, only do policy. You have to tell them to kill less, it will save many lives. You see, of course it's true. And this is a sales pitch from a monk using the Buddhist principles disguised as Buddhist instructions. It's just a sales pitch. This emperor says, I want to cultivate, I want to be vegetarian. Can you help me? He says, no, you don't have to be vegetarian. It's too difficult for you. Well, you know why not? Because you are special. This is what I, as an emperor, hear from what this monk was telling me. I'm special. Continue to be special. So there's a Buddhism for the emperors and Buddhism for the commoners. Isn't that cool? I stick to the Buddhism for the emperor. You get it now? Disagreeing Taiwanese person? See, so now because you are one, and you only have to worry about yourself, worry about the 老百姓, the 1,000, the 10,000, the 10 million. If you get them to do the good deeds, you don't have to. It's the same as you doing good deeds. Yeah, so wonderful. Buddhism can be so wonderful. Get you to cultivate. I don't have to cultivate because I'm the emperor. So I am the head of family. I don't need to cultivate. You woman, go cultivate. You children, go do Chan Chi and so forth. Okay? And you do become enlightened. I can also become enlightened then. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. In other talks that you've given, you've emphasized that for lay people, there must be a middle way. And when I see him talking to the emperor, I think of him as the ultimate lay person. He has to take on the responsibilities of every type of lay life, be it a soldier, a cook, a guest, host, everything he must do that a lay person might have to do. And so I see him giving Dharma of, like you said, giving in any way that he can because he's so entrenched in the lay life. What would be his middle way?
What is what?
What would be the emperor's middle way?
Be vegetarian. That's a middle way. The middle way means that when you're not enlightened yet, there's a way for you to become enlightened. After you become enlightened, and then your way is different. So that's why it's very important to differentiate when you are confused. The teachings are designed to help you end your confusion. When you are no longer confused, it's different. Okay? So this emperor is confused. So he can only have to teach the commoners not to kill. Therefore, he's being vegetarian. What kind of Buddhism is that? I never heard of any such thing. You teach all commoners to be filial towards your parents, then you can go ahead and kill your parents. Because you only kill one set of parents, whereas you have 100 million people who are being filial to their own parents. Therefore, this is nothing. And you ask commoners to change from good to evil, evil to good, and that's you as well. So you don't have to eat less meat or drink less alcohol because you're getting others to cultivate for you. It's just like this lady here says, my husband will cultivate for me, and therefore I'm cultivating. Duh. Sounds good? Buddhism is wonderful. As long as you order a commoners to him doing evil and doing good, then this is your own cultivation. And he's so happy, he said, this is such, Buddhism is so wonderful, I will build temples for you. And you know why? I never heard such great things. Because the other monks could not explain it to me because they're confused about conditions. And the confusions, they are confused about principles only. They can't advise me in what to do. And what is confused about conditions, I talked about, the cycles, the cause and effect, retribution will fail. Because, hey, I'm exempt. They couldn't even understand I'm exempt. You see that? That's what it means. I read this, what is it talking about? Oh, yeah, him. I'm exempt. I'm exempt from cause and effect. This Buddhism is fantastic. And the Confucians who brainwashed the Chinese very well, Asians very well. You lucky you're not Asian. We all brainwashed by Confucius. There's some good parts about it, but when you get to a high level, it's so darn confusing. Confucius was very good for stupid people who need to be kept in check to serve the emperor. You guys are lucky. You know, you're not Asian, trust me. Because the Asians are brainwashed. When I teach my Asian disciples to a high level, now I said, let me tell you, don't quote me your Confucian value systems. It doesn't apply to me, doesn't apply to us. Brainwashing is necessary for confused people. They're not designed to help them open the wisdom. They're only designed to keep them in check. That's all. So it's packaged under, you be humane, you have to be filial, you have to respect the rights, you have to respect authority in order to keep you in check. That's all. You need to blindly follow. Okay, so that's why they have a lot of articles in classical literature, and they say these are the principles of humanity, humaneness, of etiquette, and so forth, okay? I'm not saying they're not important. They're important, okay? However, when you need to also be free from those constraints in order for your wisdom, your true wisdom to unfold. Confucius never intended to develop wisdom in the people. That's why the Buddha had to come. You get it? If Confucius was able to do it, why would the Buddha need to come to the world? Why did the Chinese have to go to China and the patriarch had to go to China? So from today's discussion with the great master, I have a clear understanding of the great way of heaven and human beings, meaning I'm the son of heaven, I'm exempt, you human beings are not. It's disgusting. I read this, I feel like barfing. What kind of Buddhism is this? You cannot teach confused people this way. There's no foundation for this guy, for his brand of Buddhism. His temple, see? As a result, he built Qi Huan Temple. You give me that temple, I would take it, but then I would sell it right away. Because it's corrupt. I don't want it to be known as a Buddhist temple. I would take it because it costs money, okay? Sell it so, to a non-Buddhist person so that it ceases to be a Buddhist temple. We have our standards. And this is the problem with the young monks who says, I'm going to build temples, I'm going to save a lot of people, I'm going to teach people about Pure Land Buddhism, and confuse the heck out of them. But at least someday they'll be saved. Buddha said so. You recite my name, you'll be guaranteed rebirth to the Pure Land. It might take a little bit longer, but at least you get reborn to the Pure Land. Isn't it better? That's why I call corrupt Pure Land Buddhism. It's not for everyone. Yes, it's good to have to go to these corrupt temples and so forth because that's all you got. It's okay too. But not for us. No thanks. And the sixth patriarch, and all the great patriarchs says, no thanks. Yeah, let, what's his name? Sheng Xiu go to the emperor, okay, and get the royal patronage and build a lot of temples and make Buddhism such widespread throughout China. Wonderful. Sixth patriarch says, not for me. I will teach my followers, my handful of followers. That's good enough. Okay? Buddhism is big enough so that it has Sheng Xiu to serve such people, the Lao Bai Xing. And then the sixth patriarch says, I'm going to teach only, a superset of people. That's it. So that Buddhism had different levels. I'm not saying he shouldn't do it. Okay? This Gung Te Kai is okay. If he builds temple and he talks to the emperor like that, it's okay too. There's nothing wrong with it. But not for us. Not for me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking our high road or anything. I'm just saying Buddhism has many different gradations, many different levels. Which one do you want? Is that clear? That's all. It's your personal choice. We're not going to stop you from going to, Qi Huan Temple. Go, have fun. But when you come back, take a shower. It's fun. It's okay. We embrace it all. You understand? Please don't understand that I'm a high road. I don't care. And this is inferior. No. For us, it's that it's not for us. You know? Buddhism still serves Japan well in a certain way. Okay? It helps. It prepares them. Just like my late father, he went to a lot of teachers, Vietnamese teachers, famous ones, and Tibetan teachers, and all those things. Eventually, he ended up on Master Hsuan Hua, and that's how I look at that and say, oh, they're being prepared to go. It's okay. That's Buddhism too. Okay, time is up, everyone. Thank you. So remember, Super Lotto. Now back to the real world, okay? We talk all we want, but we still need to eat tomorrow. You know, I can't express how grateful I am to Master Hsuan Hua. His teaching is so profound and provide a guiding light for myself personally. You know, that is priceless. That's why we're doing this. Spread the word. He's a great teacher. His disciples may not understand it, may not appreciate it as much as they're supposed to. But the teaching is fantastic. It's such pure Buddhism, untainted. Okay? Thank you.